tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about a lot of new games we've been playing recently. We do another board game beatdown for you, and then we end the show with our top 5 games that have great names. Stay tuned. Hello there, gamers, and welcome back to the Gamecasters, the podcast that, if taken twice daily, has been medically proven to cause clinical depression. Something about how awesome we are makes you want to stay in bed and cry. But it's not all bad, because I also have some great news. We have finally been labeled as an aphrodisiac by the FDA, which is also triggered by listening twice daily. So you'll want to kill yourself, but you'll be extremely aroused while you do it, which is my favorite type of depression. I've gotten so many confusing emails from people that start off so sad but end so raunchy. Well, we've got an incredibly miserable and erotic episode lined up for you all today, lined with moans of anguish followed by moans of gratification. In fact, the last 30 minutes of the show is just going to be kissing sounds with crying in the background. You know what the people want.
I think I'll be the one crying. I think that'll be right.
Will we make out?
You guys will make
me
out.
Me and Jeff will make the kissing sounds, and Natalie will cry about it.
Yeah, okay.
He is gay. Do you guys like limericks?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I love them. Natalie, a long time ago, got me this little dirty book of limericks. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like there was.
Why did you give me that, by the way?
Nantucket, that one?
Yes.
Is that like
yes.
Right.
I think I was on like a vacation and I saw it and I was like, Ryan would like this.
It's just dirty. It's just dirty limericks, and they're all so funny. It's like this little, like, you know, like a little black book?
Yeah.
Like that. It's like really small, and like you can just like.
It's like
I had it at work for a while,
2x2.
and one day it was sitting on my desk, and my boss comes by and he's like, "What's this?" And he picks it up and he starts looking. Did I tell you that?
I think
he thought it was funny. So, like, here's an example. Okay, there once was a woman named Jill. Tried a dynamite stick for the thrill. They found her vagina in South Carolina and bits of her tits in Brazil.
Wait, that's from the book? Did you find the book?
That's an example of one from the book.
Or did you just memorize?
I just remembered that one.
Oh my god,
That's a really funny.
It's just
one.
in your head?
Yeah. So I kept reading this book. I found it a couple days ago, actually.
Oh.
And there was 3 of them in there about us.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Wow, that's
They published
crazy.
I wish you could see Natalie's face.
Wow. Natalie's so happy. Let's hear them.
Well, the first one I found is actually about Natalie.
Oh, great.
Whoa.
So Natalie will be the start, whose buttocks is a work of art. I feel oh so lucky, though sometimes it's yucky when all that comes out is a fart.
I was gonna say art rhymes with fart. I know what's
and
coming.
Start. There's a lot of farts in that one.
So, you know, that was in the book. I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's just there.
That was just written, and it was years ago, too. All right, here we go. This next one's about Jeff. The Mad Board Gamer has quite the name. It's really quite long to exclaim. But hey, did you know there's something down below called his penis that puts it to shame? That's a good one.
Man, people just write these.
I know. I don't. It's
Wow.
cool.
How come
It was in
his
this
is,
little
like,
book.
good?
You just found this little book.
Wow.
This is like flattering for him.
Thank you. Natalie farts. And,
I cannot. I mean, I did not create the size of his penis. You know, that was something that
And someone
was
else did
bestowed
this. It
upon
wasn't
him.
Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I just found these in here.
in a book.
All right, here we go. Sometimes right before the show, I like to make love to her, yo. Though it's such a bummer when I want a Hummer, but Natalie laughs and says no.
Oh.
Those were in the little limerick book.
Yeah, they were in the book.
Yeah, so what have you guys been up to? Natalie, have you interacted with any artistic types lately that you want to give a shout out
sure
to?
have. I totally forgot last episode that I was going to shout out Meeple Design. I know they have an Instagram, but where I found them was on Etsy. They make a lot of, they have like artwork, board game artwork, but it's, my favorite part about it is that it's not like the game cover or anything really that's like,
It's just a mountain.
related to the game. It's like almost like,
Just some trees.
I mean, I don't know the background exactly, but it almost seems like original like artwork created based on the theme of the game, but it looks like they look like movie posters. I think they have like t-shirts and stuff too. So just a quick story. Ryan's birthday was in September, and I found these. I found Meeple Design.
It'll be in September.
Yeah, it
next
still
too.
is in September,
It'll always
right?
be in September.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Where
found
do they go
Meeple
after that?
Design on Etsy, and I loved all of like the pictures, like all the posters that they had, and I thought they were so cool. And I spent like seriously hours like going through them and like narrowing down like what should I get Ryan? I'm gonna frame them. We're gonna hang them up in like the basement where all the games are, and it's gonna be like so awesome. I ended up getting 5 of them, and they were like 5 games that were like in his top 20 list of games, and I thought like they were so cool, and so I had them shipped, and I think they came from England, and they got here.
Maybe.
Like, so I had them shipped. You know, I bought everything. I did it early, like the end of July. His birthday was like in September.
Still is.
Still.
And like maybe like 6 days go by, and I have to decide to like check the tracking, and I check it, and it said it was like delivered to like my old address
house.
like 2 addresses ago, because I haven't ordered from
addresses.
Etsy in a while, and I was like,
I can't believe you didn't check the
no.
address on the shipping address. Like
thought
when
I
you
had-
You were just so excited.
yeah, you were just
Yeah.
like, oh my
It's a
god,
very
these
it is a very
posters.
thoughtful gift. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
And so they were like, basically like, the forwarding order expired, we're gonna return to sender. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh no,
Back to London, England.
And then remember, this is in the middle of COVID, where the shipping and mail is awful.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I
Shipping and the
contacted him. His name's Tony from Meeple Design, and you know, I told him what happened, and it's like clearly my fault because I didn't
You put the
update
wrong
the
address,
address.
yeah.
You know, it was like not
Yeah.
his fault. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna, you know, see when it comes back to the fulfillment center, and then we'll have it shipped back out to you. And I was like, okay, great. And I'm like checking in with him. Weeks go by, months go by,
Years go
Ryan's
by.
birthday passes, and I'm like, I like
Which is
basically
in
gave
September.
up. You know, it was like,
Still.
I've honestly like a couple months. His birthday's over. It's October now, and I'm just like, what do we do? And
Yeah.
because I mean, it wasn't like cheap. I bought like 5
we buy me
posters.
something else is what we do.
Yeah. So I was like really, really bummed about it, because I was like so excited, and I thought I did it so early to have like such a cool
You did.
surprise. And so Tony ended up giving me like, you know, a partial refund, which was, he didn't even have
He
to
did not
do,
have to
because
do
it was
that.
like my fault, you know, but it was
That was
super
so nice of
and they're like
them.
a small shop or whatever. So then
They showed up like the next day.
yeah, no, like seriously, like a week or 2 later, he's like, "Oh my gosh, you'll never believe
Scammer.
this. They showed up. Finally, I'm gonna, you know, I already sent them to your correct address. You know, like you're good to go." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Okay, should I like pay you, but then for the rest of the money?" And he was like, "No, don't worry about it. It's my gift to you. You know, just like." If you like them, just, you know, spread the word. And I was like, okay. And we got
Right.
them, and they're hanging up. They're framed. They look
And
so
they're not that
freaking
good. Oh,
awesome.
yeah, they're amazing.
No, they
they're
really
awesome.
are.
Very,
They're
they're
really awesome.
amazing.
Teotihuacan's my favorite one.
They're amazing.
We have that hanging up like above the board game shelves all over the basement. We have
They're
Terraforming
also
Mars,
good. They're
Alien Frontiers,
Terra Mystica's over there.
Terra Mystica, and
Cosmic Encounter.
Cosmic Encounter.
They're
I know
awesome.
it's snowing a ton
It's
right now.
snowing here.
So, anyways, I just wanted to shout out Meeple Design
Meeple
because
Design.
one, their
Meeple
product is
Design.
awesome, and 2, customer service and Tony was like amazing and really super nice like the entire time.
And if you mess
that I
up,
was
you might be
going
able to
through
scam
this.
them and get some free
Get some
stuff,
money. You can get some
know?
money back from him. Yeah. So buy with confidence from Meeple Design, knowing that you might get the product and half your money back.
No, that's awesome. That's very
Amazing,
cool.
amazing
Super- and
company.
I definitely am going to buy more from him.
And I believe they are Meeple Design on Instagram
Yep,
too,
they are.
right? Is that their handle? So
Yep.
check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Etsy. Get a hold of them. You know, message. His name is Tony.
Yeah.
Message Tony and get yourself some amazing board game artwork because this. So I don't know if you've seen the board game artwork that Board Game Geek has, which is
Yes.
also pretty good. I like this stuff better. I like this better. It's kind
Me
of
too.
it's comparable
Yeah.
to that.
But if you're
Yeah.
trying to picture what this stuff looks like,
Yeah.
it's
Think
like the
that
BGG
stuff.
store art.
It's
But
like, but the style
is
is
cooler.
just
yeah, I like
so
the
much
style
cooler.
so much.
It's amazing. I love it. That's awesome. Jeff, real quick before I know you probably have something, but I wanted to also, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this that we also forgot to talk about last episode. Jeff and I had the amazing opportunity
Oh, you're right.
to play a game on Tabletop Simulator
Oh, now I know what we're talking about.
with
Yes.
yeah,
I was
Chris,
there.
I
Chris the
know.
charity board gamer.
Yep.
I almost called him the Mad Charity Board
Ooh,
Gamer.
the man. That angry charity giver.
Everyone's getting mad in front of him. Chris, the charity board gamer, invited Jeff and I to play Pandemic Legacy Season 0 on Tabletop Simulator with Rob Davio himself.
Yeah.
That's
The
pretty
designer of the game,
Pretty
Mr.
awesome.
Legacy Man. And
awesome.
do you remember the other lady's
Yeah,
name?
Beth.
Beth.
Yep.
She is like the
She's marketing at
promotional
Z-Man.
at Z-Man for Z-Man.
Oh,
and we
wow.
all got to play a game together of Pandemic Legacy Season 0, and it was so
It was
fun.
cool. It was like kind of being starstruck a little bit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was fangirling a little bit.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was super nice of Chris to invite us to do that.
That was really
we had
nice.
a great time with him, and it's funny, I flipped and found a limerick of him. Which I thought
Wow, I can't believe that was in the book. Of Rob Davio or...
yeah, it's a Rob Davio
Wow.
limerick. I can't
I thought
believe
you meant Chris.
I really wish
This
you
limerick
saw
has quite the
Natalie's
legacy.
Why would you? I do?
You were like,
Oh.
you like looked back and forth like, oh god. Okay, so this is what I found. Rob's games have all our support. They make me feel things in my shorts. I want him. He's great, but have shown much restraint, forcibly ordered by the court.
Okay.
That's why I had to
Well, I
play
was
over
like,
Zoom.
it's one thing when you like say stuff about us, and I'm like, oh god, he's gonna like say something about someone
Rob Davio's
outside.
penis is going to be
Davio's
on the
listening, and-
limerick. Well, again, I didn't write this. This is somebody.
It's happened to be in this book.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I have, Jeff. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to say about that, but it was a great time.
It was very cool.
Super cool of us to allow Chris to let us play.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you
Yeah,
going?
thanks, Chris. For,
Chris, thank you. You're going to thank us, I'm sure,
he'll
for
thank us for that.
bestowing our presence upon your face.
Oh, boy. That's
Tried
not
to
a
stop
limerick.
it.
Is that a
I
limerick?
tried to stop it. I was
It's like it
what
came,
have you
like
been
he
up to?
like clenched his teeth and it still just came out. It still just fell right out. That word just
I can't.
came out. Well, let me talk about what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's
you
hear
guys can chip in.
Okay.
Don't spoil this, but I started watching The Queen's Gambit
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
on
baby.
Netflix, which is really good
Wait,
so far.
How far are you?
I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in. So
Okay,
I'm not
well, there's
very
only
far.
7, so.
Yeah.
You're
So,
close.
but it's great. And I when I watched it, I was like, Ryan has to be watching this. Chess is like his thing.
Yeah, I love it. It's my
So I followed up with Ryan the other day, and I said that these have to be real moves, right? They have to have chess experts working on the show because yes, obviously they're moving like pawns in the right direction and like these pieces in the right direction, but I was like, these have to be the right opening moves, the right moves.
Yeah.
Some of the games they're playing are actually real games that were played between 2 other grandmasters
they
like
just,
years
like,
ago, and they just like
recreated it.
like so some chess masters that I've watched on YouTube after have been like, oh, that was the game between Spassky and Lasker, and
Yeah.
like
And I don't love. It's not like you have to like chess to watch
No,
the show
because
So-
Ryan actually watched it, and I was like, I don't want to watch that about chess, and
And
then
I-
he was
I-
like,
I
no,
agree.
you'll like it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a show.
And then
Yes, it's a show
I
with-
watched it, and it was
about
great.
chess.
It was
I think
really
it's the
good.
#1 show on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it might be on that. Yeah, that top.
But it's mostly
10
about
list.
this girl's life.
And her ability to be very
like a
good at this
prodigy.
game.
Yeah, she's a prodigy. She's also
And I think
maybe
like
addicted
I
to
don't
drugs.
find chess like I don't want to watch chess online like that. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that at all. But
Yeah, I do.
think it's awesome. I know you do, but and some people do,
Yeah.
which might either way might make you really love the show or not because who knows. But
I think what you're saying, it's not. You don't have to like
Yeah.
chess at
It's
all
kind
to
of
like
like
the show.
Ryan,
It's like Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Ryan related it to Friday Night Lights. Like, I'm not a football fan, but like, it's not about it's about football, but it's not about football. It's
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the people.
I like that someone.
people.
What I like about chess is that you can be that good at that. That like this woman in the show. You can be so good at this strategic game, and I like that. And that's where I like even about like sports. Like I watch people who are good at sports. It's like just appreciate that guy or
Yeah.
woman is
The
great
best
at
in
what
the
they're doing.
world.
And that like you watch this show, and I'm like, okay, I don't know why she's moving this piece there or why this is happening, but I respect that like they're both incredible at
Yeah,
this
and you
game.
understand that
Yeah.
what she just did was amazing.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
it's a good show.
Yeah.
By
So
the
if
way
you're not
they
watching
react.
it.
And plus, it takes place in like the 50s and 60s, and for a woman to be
Yeah, it wasn't.
in
it
like
wasn't
it's
a
basically
thing.
like mostly a men's sport back then.
Yep.
Yeah, she's fighting through some like discrimination
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
are
It's
also
a
really
great
impressed
show.
with her.
It is
and,
so
Yeah,
Oh.
so definitely check it out.
I've watched it through twice now. Once
by yourself,
and then I went through with Natalie,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to say it was better the second time,
Really?
but what I do want to say is it was okay. I because I loved it the first time, so it was just as good the second time. But I almost felt like I appreciated it more. And I had just watched it, and so I watched it twice within like 2 weeks, and it was I would watch it again.
Cool.
It's that good.
Yeah, we'll watch another one tonight. All right, I got 2 more things.
Okay.
One, sticking with TV. So my son Jack is obsessed with a movie lately. So he's 16 months. He's 1.
Is it like Seinfeld
Okay.
the movie?
And no, it should be. So that was his jam. That was awesome. So he was watching Seinfeld. Like he would watch, like Seinfeld would go on. He would just stare at the TV and watch it. And he doesn't. It's not like he stares at the TV all the time. It's not like every movie that's on he's sitting and watching.
Yeah.
So he has been obsessed with both the Frozen movies.
Oh no!
So I've
man.
seen Frozen 1 and 2 probably 10 times each.
Oh, man.
Because sometimes they're just on.
You don't
and
even have
he
girls.
gets,
No, not-
I know. He gets sucked in. Like the music, and it's a good, like the music is
Yeah,
fun.
the music
and
is
it's
good.
It
Especially-
does
Man.
something to children under the age of
Yes.
10.
Agreed.
I don't know what it does
He's
to them.
all
but
just-
children
and
love
I'll put
it.
other things on. We'll like try like Moana or Monsters Inc. And it's not the same. He'll watch it for 5 minutes like a normal 1-year-old and then run around. But when Frozen's on, man, he's like, shh. in the zone.
Oh my gosh.
That's
All right,
so
on a different
crazy.
note, on a gaming note,
Yeah.
got some Kickstarters in the mail.
Nice.
I got all the new Chronicles of Crime stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Which I'm pumped about.
1400, 2300.
Yeah, so there's 14, 19, and 24 because they're
Okay,
separated by
okay.
500 years. Yeah,
Okay.
so you go back in time, and then you go in the
time.
future. And then I got, have you got Fossilis yet? I
No.
just got it yesterday.
What the-
So you'll get it. Well, your mail sucks, so you'll
Yeah, it
probably
does
get it in
suck.
like
What is
6 weeks.
Fossilis?
It's this awesome game about digging for fossils.
Yeah, and you like lift up
you like
and there's
actually
actual
lift the thing up. There's
fossils
fossils
in
in
there.
there. Yeah,
It's made by
we
Kids
backed
Table.
it a while ago.
Yeah. So Fossilis, we'll
longer ago.
report back when we play
Okay,
it.
sweet.
But-
Yeah,
I
oh,
got
that's
some
awesome. It's coming soon. I
Kickstarters,
can't wait.
yes.
Maybe it'll be here today.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. I don't know if I just missed an email, but
Very cool.
Yeah, it showed up.
I have a one confession to make.
Okay.
A one confession. So if you remember back in episode 53 when I did the Macklemore rap.
I do. Uh-oh.
All right. So at some point there's an age where your youngest children realize that you're saying a swear. Mittens. And it just happened with my 4-year-old. She doesn't she didn't realize she's so I was listening to my episode.
Well, he played that for them.
That's what it was. I just played the song
And they were like,
in the
"That-
car.
that is
Well, hold
really
on.
the
Just
song
for,
you
we're going to talk
played."
about just for Scarlett.
I know.
And so she loved it. It's really catchy, you know?
Yeah, it is a very catchy song.
And so eventually, she's 4 now, so she starts memorizing the words.
Yep.
And there's one part in the song where there's a lot of vulgarities in it. Which
It's not just one. It's a couple parts.
there's a lot of parts. Well, there's one part in the song where I actually say piss, which is from the actual
Yeah.
Macklemore song. And so I'm in the car picking up Scarlett from preschool, and she's like, "Dad, I play that song, you know?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I play it, and when it gets to "This game's fucking awesome," I say, "Really? This game's really awesome?"
like,
And I say it
yell it
loud.
over, yeah.
Yeah.
But so it ends, and she goes, "Dada, my favorite part is when he says piss." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" She's like, "Piss is my favorite part. Piss." And she's just saying it like I
then
say,
you tried to-
piss. And then I'm like, so later on, I'm
Yeah.
playing it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this." And she's like, No, it's not this. It's piss. And I'm like, "Oh no,
did
my
I do?
4-year-old is saying piss." Yeah, so that's rough. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about before we get to games is I unboxed. So Jeff just talked about games from Kickstarter he got in the mail. I got this game from Kickstarter as well called Paris from Game Brewer. And
Not
I
be
need to talk
confused
about
with the other Paris.
yeah, not
Yeah.
Paris La Lumiere, City of the Beauty and the Beast. This is Paris. It's just called Paris. It's a Kiesling and Kramer game,
Yes.
right? Their newest one. I had to talk about something I found really funny and also a little head shaky. Like what? The game comes with a sleeve. Okay, box sleeves are a thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a box sleeve in the way that you might think it is. It's made to replace the shrink wrap in the game
Okay.
to reduce garbage, which is cool. It's
Sure.
it's like
no less microplastics.
less
or whatever,
exactly
right?
less
Good.
micro. So the back of the sleeve says, "We here at Game Brewer are trying to help the planet and reduce garbage and plastic and so forth." And so the box sleeve should be discarded and is provided in lieu of shrink wrap, which again, super cool.
Yeah.
The only problem was the game was in shrink wrap.
So it was the game was sleeved and then in shrink wrap.
Yeah, the game was
But it says
sleeved.
this is not shrink wrapped to save on garbage, but it was shrink wrapped.
Yeah, so in essence-
you read that through the shrink wrap.
Yeah, I read it
Okay.
through the shrink wrap. So because I'm like, oh, a box sleeve, and I'm like, but wait, the game is, you know how like when before you punch a game, sometimes it's like
Yeah, bigger.
the box
Yep.
pot's pushed out because of all the stuff to punch out. The dervish.
It is stuff to punch out. Yeah.
But so I read that and I'm like, wait a minute, they inadvertently now created double the garbage. There's
Yeah.
more garbage now than any
Yeah.
other game because of that, and it doesn't stop there. Because you can't use that box sleeve. You can't use the sleeve as
Because
sleeve
it's too big now,
Yeah, now
right?
it's too big once you punch everything out. But so I'm like, okay, that's funny. There's extra garbage. Then they probably didn't
Yeah.
intend that. Then you open the box, and there's 15 to 20 punch boards, and you're punching out all the components. And after you do that, you get to the bottom of the box, and there's another set of the components in wood. If you got the Kickstarter version, so not only
So they have like
there's
like
two
quadruple the
sets
amount of garbage.
of components. There's this box sleeve. There's still shrink wrap. So they're trying to specifically say we're trying to make the world greener and this was by far the most garbage produced by any board game I've ever
It
gotten.
seriously was. It was everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Because
was
I've seen
really
a lot of
funny.
those, and I think Funko does it, and some of these other publishers are just doing the like stickers, right? Those little
Yeah.
pieces of
Yeah,
tape
yeah, yeah.
almost on each
Gloomhaven did
corner.
that.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, good plan. I don't love it because I'm a little bit about like pristine condition, but
Agreed.
to have less microplastics and less shrink wrap, cool. I'm good with it.
Although it is
but
funny.
then it's just like the total
yeah,
opposite.
like it's the total
Yeah.
opposite. It's so
like they
bad.
even they said something about it. That's what made it.
Yeah,
so
that's what made it so ridiculous. So I need to talk a bit about Dan for a second. Dan is the man who ran with the plan to send me all of his Star Wars Destiny stuff. We honestly have been so lucky to have people send us stuff in the mail. We had Jim Gamer send us stuff. We had Lewis send us stuff. And now Dan. Would you like to be next? Then please join the Gamecasters Benefactor Association, which is just us giving you games from our cool stuff or Amazon wishlist, and you buying them for us and sending you an email telling you how awesome you are. Sound like something you'd want to do? Then please contact me with your credit card number at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com with your donation amount.
Can we use Dan as a reference?
Yeah. Just kidding. All right, let's get back to Dan. Dan has been such an incredible and gracious listener. He found us a month or two ago, and like most listeners, after having guzzled the sweet, addictive nectar directly from our teat, has been completely assimilated into the family. If you play our audio backwards, it's just subliminal messages. Laugh, purchase, listen, download. All right, back to Dan again. Dan is such an amazing listener. Ever since he found us, he's been interacting with us via email, Instagram, everything else. He's a barnacle to which, no. He's a lamprey feeding off of our, no. He's a tapeworm siphoning our life force, no. He's a fan. Listening, enjoying, and trying to give back. And for that, we are all so incredibly grateful.
And now he's air conditioning.
He was a big fan, and now he's an air conditioner. We honestly do this show for nothing more than vanity of hearing ourselves talk. 200 of the 250 or so downloads we get each episode are just us listening back and fawning over ourselves. We don't do the show for monetary gain or for anything other than fun. So when someone reaches out and sends us something like a gift, it's such a crazy and strange feeling, I think, for all of us. It's almost like a little guilt. You know what I mean? Almost like we don't deserve this. We don't deserve this kindness is how I think,
I
if
agree.
I can speak for all of us.
Yeah.
It's also so incredibly fulfilling to know and realize that if someone's taking the time out of their life to do this for us, then they must enjoy what we're doing. And that kind of flattery is terrible for our self-esteems, which are already overinflated from all the self-promotion we do every day. So, Dan, we wanted to thank you from the bottom of our cold black hearts that you not only enjoy our show, but again, you take the time out of your life to purchase and send us gifts. And before I get into them, I figured I'd thank Dan by bestowing his own personal limerick onto him.
Great.
Ooh. Did you find this in the book, or did you make this one?
No, this was in the book.
It was in the book. Of course it was in the book.
So this is for you, Dan. There once was a great man named Dan who loves those burritos. Oh, man. He buys us great stuff, but it's never enough, so get back to spending all you can. All right, so, Jeff, did you want to mention or add anything, or Natalie add anything about how awesome Dan has been?
Oh.
Dan is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
So awesome.
And what I like, and what you said about just, you don't have to buy us stuff for us to like you.
No,
the
but it
gift
helps.
of even it helps. It goes a long way.
Helps.
But the gift of even just like talking to us, like I've talked to Dan on Instagram, and I've talked to so many people on Instagram, and it's just awesome. It's awesome to be able to talk to people, and I gotta. Dan was even so. In the last episode I talked about my brother Joe, who did the event for Extra Life,
right?
And Dan was even gracious enough to reach out and donate to his Extra Life account and send Joe a game for just doing something cool.
I mean,
and it's
geez.
just
I know.
So if you want a free game, contact Dan. He's a fat guy eating burritos
on Instagram. Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Dan, we love you. Thank you so much.
He always says like he can't buy games for himself or something. So
Yeah.
he
he's not allowed,
gets
I
the
think.
same thrill for by buying it for other people.
Yeah, and honestly, as crazy as that might sound, I think that is that's like the coolest sentiment in the world.
Yeah, the gift of giving.
Like, it is a great thing
feel good to give.
When I ultimately finally do it one day, I will tell you how it feels for me.
We had some giveaways.
What we got from Dan just recently was Twa Dice. Twa, the dice game. I don't know what it's actually called. Twa Dice, I think.
I think it's called Twa Dice.
I think it's called Twa Dice.
Is it called Twa Dice?
Twa Dice.
Is it Twa Dice? Is it Jackal? Is it Jackal?
It's Jackal. Is it Jackal? It's Jackal.
Twa Dice?
Twa Dice showed up at our doorstep thanks to good old Dan, and I promptly played it twice, less than an hour after it arrived. That means the game's amazing, right? Wrong. It's awful. Just kidding. But here's how it works. The game is a roll and write dice game in the Twa universe. It doesn't really feel like Twa other than the look, which is honestly enough to evoke excitement for me. It's like when you hear a song and you instantly think of the movie, like the Star Wars theme. You hear that. You hear that like dun, 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 and you're like, oh man, the artwork in Twa Dice works the same way because the Twa artwork is like
awesome.
There's nothing else like that artwork.
cool.
So when you see that, you're kind of like, oh man, because Twa is really good. So it's really I don't know. Artwork is awesome. It goes together like pizza and milk. Is that just me?
Delicious.
I had a weird childhood. It's really cool. So the components of the game are really nice with the reds, yellows, and whites from Twa. There's like the central circular board that has a rotating wheel on the top of it, which is the timer for the game. There are these discs that you place around the perimeter of the board, and these discs are in those same red, yellow, and white colors. Each color has an associated action that you'll write on your sheet. How to take those actions is determined by the dice. The dice are awesome because they're large, chunky, and clear.
Yeah.
There's not too many
cool
games
dice.
where there's clear dice. The reason they're clear is because when you roll them, you place them in numerical order on the discs around the perimeter of the board. So whichever colored disc a die is on is what color that die becomes.
takes on.
So if I place the one clear die on the yellow disc, that becomes a yellow 1.
Is this called Twa dice?
Twa dice.
Okay.
Twa dice.
All right,
Twa dice.
Dice?
I don't know if that makes sense,
dice.
but basically it's really cool. So if I place a die on the yellow disc, it's considered yellow for purposes of the right phase. This game is a bit of a heavier roll and write. Think like Fleet the Dice game if you've played that one. That's also kind of like a little thinkier roll and write game. It's nice because there's so many roll and writes out there, and most of them are very light. Like very light, like a second chance.
Yeah.
It's just, which is good. It's a good
right.
game.
Yeah.
But they're usually like ridiculously light or crisscross.
Yeah.
Or even something like
Run.
Quicks or Cosmic Run a little more. But yes, exactly. But this one isn't really, I wouldn't say this is heavy. This is not a heavy game.
I wouldn't say it's heavy.
But it's much thinkier than most roll and write games. Basically, you have 6 columns on your sheet. Each column has a number from 1 to 6. And that's the columns that you're allowed to take actions on, depending on the dice you select. So if I take a number 5, I have to take an action in the 5 column. There's also 3 rows. There's red, yellow, and white. And those kind of mimic what they do in Twa. Like the white is like end of game victory points. The yellow is like you get money or something. And the red is like military.
Military, yeah.
I think that's what it was. That's what it is in regular Twa. And so if I take a red 5, I have to now write something on the red 5 spot on my board. Okay, it's really cool. The game lasts 8 rounds, and starting with round 3, there's a die that basically kills off a section of your player sheet, which again mimics that at the very beginning of Twa, right? You roll the die, and then you have to take care of it or something, or else it starts to...
Yeah, you have to spend your dice to essentially
Yeah, you got to
fight
spend
off
your die.
the whatever.
So
yeah.
in this game, it's basically there's a die that's rolled, and it makes you cross off stuff on your sheet that you wouldn't normally, and so it hurts you.
Yeah.
So it turns into a game of attrition mitigation as you're trying to score as many points as possible while trying to avoid the sections of your sheet that will be destroyed. At the end of the game, whoever did the best wins. The actions are mostly related to some sort of set collection mechanism, right? There's basically like the white row is you get points based on what you've crossed off of other rows. It's kind of a cool thing. All right, so there are definitely elements of Twa in this. Like the die that destroys things on your sheet, the white color being endgame scoring, red military, all that kind of stuff. But it definitely did not feel like Twa because there's no like dice drafting. You're not taking dice from your neighbors. You're not buying them. You're not, you know what I mean? That mechanism, which to me is the heart of Twa, is not in this one. Not that that's a bad thing. Okay, things I liked. I really love the way the game looks. As far as roll and writes go, this is possibly the one that has the best table presence. It's really cool looking in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
There are some really interesting mechanisms in it that I really enjoyed. The attrition mechanism and how that could mess up your plans if you weren't careful. How you could spend dice protecting columns in that military column. But if you do that, that's like a turn you're not using to score points. But it could help you at the end of the game. I really liked how the dice were clear and took on the property of the color of those discs. That was very clever. I found it enjoyable. Things I didn't like. Roll and writes to me, they were like the darling a couple years ago. You know what I mean? There were so many of them. This almost feels like it came out a year or two too late to capitalize on the popularity of roll and writes. People would just gobble them up. I don't know if this is going to be as popular just simply because of the timing aspect of how it came out. I kind of feel like the novelty is maybe worn off on them. I don't get amped up for roll and writes personally as much as I did before. I was kind of like, oh, I can't wait to get these roll and writes. They're so cool.
Yeah.
That's not a knock against the game, though. It might maybe against the marketing or whatever. But for me, I think with repeated play, this game will get very samey. I mean, samey.
Samey.
I think. As you're really doing the exact same thing every time. There is something additional in the box we didn't play with. And as of this very moment in time, I don't remember what it does. I'm guessing it probably helps the replayability a bit.
Yeah.
Because it adds another variant that you can play with.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there a thing?
Do you remember?
I don't remember that, but I remember you saying you can like scramble like the numbers that you write at the top.
That's different than there's like additional components that come in. And I can't remember what they do. Anyway,
well, hopefully
overall,
that helps.
personally, this is a really good game. It gives you the Twa feel without feeling anything like Twa. Does that make any sense? It sees the light of if it sees the light of day like once every few months, I think that's a winner. You know, and so it will stick around in our collection because I think that's a reasonable expectation for this game. You're not going to want to play this 10 times in a row when you first get it. If you do, I think you'll have seen it all. I think this is a game you keep in your collection for moments where you're playing with somebody and you're just like, hey, we got 20 minutes. You want to try Twa Dice? Twa Dice game? Twa Dice?
Twa Dice. Twice?
Quo Vadis?
Twice.
Nights
You guys want to play twice for a little bit? What'd you think, Natalie?
I really liked it. I mean, I know what you were saying about it coming out like late in the roll and write fate like
era
craze, but I kind of disagree a little bit personally. I don't disagree that it might not do as well because it's coming out later, but for me personally, I like the idea of roll and writes a lot, and a lot of them we played were just kind of like okay, and or I didn't really see me wanting to play it again. And I think because this one felt more like a game than like a filler, I actually want to play this one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I really liked this one a lot.
Cool.
More than most of the other ones that I've
in your
played.
face, right?
In my face. Face.
Yeah,
my
it was
face.
Cool. Let's see what I wrote. That might have been most of my thoughts.
Wait, this isn't straight off the brain?
That was straight off the brain, but now I'm seeing what I wrote to see if I need to add to it. No.
I was gonna say it sounded real nice.
Basically,
okay, so you want to play
I
again.
said
That's
I like
awesome.
the weight and the decisions. And I actually enjoyed the randomness in this one. You know, randomness a lot of times is like a negative.
You're
for
right.
me, and I kind of liked the randomness in this one.
So are you talking specifically about the die that hurts you? Or are you talking just about when you roll them and what numbers you get? All of it
Like
together?
all of it.
Okay.
Like, you know, you pick a die and
multiply.
And, you know, you like mark off a spot and then you might roll a die, you know, and it hurts you. And I'm like, darn, I should have, you know, I wish I would have like put something on that spot so I didn't lose that spot.
That was fun for you.
You know, but I thought that was fun and not like bad. You know, it wasn't a negative. I really like this game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's Thrice.
Thrice?
Wasn't that a band in like the early 2000s?
Thrice.
Oh, I think so.
Okay, Jeff, you been playing anything?
Yeah, I've been playing some games.
What you got?
Let me tell you.
I want to hear it.
So I have been playing some games I've already played. That I'm not going to
Awesome.
talk a ton about, but
That's good.
I want to tell you that we played. So Devin and I played Trajan. It was her first time.
I've heard of that
her
one.
inaugural playthrough of Trajan.
One of your
Were you
most favorite
sweating? Because this is one of your favorite
Yes,
games.
I was like nervous. I was explaining it, and
You're
I
like,
was like,
"Please
okay,
like this."
please
Well,
like
this isn't even one of your favorite felds. This is one of your favorite games.
Yeah, it's one of my
right?
favorite games.
This is
So-
in the top 1,000 for you.
It's easy. Like with a bullet,
Maybe
like
even
you say.
top 300.
That's
It is. She liked it. So Devin really liked Trajan, and it's going to be played more with her. So I'm.
She genuinely liked
Yeah, I was
it, or did
just
she-
going to say,
genuinely
can
liked
you
it.
tell the difference?
Yes, I can tell the difference.
She wasn't just telling you what you wanted
mid-game
to
when
hear.
she was making decisions that she would like almost plan things and say, okay, well, if I move these pieces here, can I do this? And then will that let me? So her thinking through that process makes me go, all right, she likes the game.
Though,
Right.
I will say about Devin, when we just said, was she genuine? Devin will tell you.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
she'll
say,
just be
If
like-
she doesn't like it, she'll just be like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
you're
not-
right.
I didn't
She
really
probably
like
wouldn't
it.
say she liked
Yeah.
it if she
Yeah.
didn't.
And then a week ago or so, we played Lorenzo Il Magnifico,
Il Magnifico.
which
Yeah.
you guys talked about a handful of episodes ago.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Great game.
She loved that one too. So
Really?
she wants that like in our probably
In the rotation?
in the rotation of like our Burgundy, just where you know we
Cool.
want to play a game for an
I
hour.
want
How
to
do you
play
feel
that
about
one
that?
again. Really bad.
I love it.
Did you?
I really
do you
liked
think she liked it more than you did?
I think so. I think she liked it
Really?
more than that.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I know Jeff so well now.
Yeah.
I love that. I know.
And I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. I could have used one more thing to do in the game, like another thing.
There is an expansion,
So that's
which I have. It adds another row of cards.
okay. Another tower.
Yep, another
okay.
tower,
Okay.
and I think you get power.
I think the McMeeples have told me to get that also.
yeah.
okay.
So
We played it the first time. We both loved it like Devin did.
Yeah.
We didn't hate it like Jeff does. And then we went and got the expansion.
no, I'm excited.
And we haven't
So
played
we're gonna
it
keep
again,
playing it.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We have it also on Steam.
Oh yeah.
Jeff, we bought it. So
So if
it
Devin
would be
wants to play with us on Steam,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you guys, I'll let her play. If I want to let her have a game
Yeah, check
night.
it out on Steam. Well, because
Yeah.
we could play it on stream at some point,
Cool.
which would be fun.
But let's talk about a game that is brand spanking new.
Oh shit!
This game is called Furnace.
Oh,
heard of it?
snap.
oh, you mean
Natalie?
vaginal?
Russian one? Yep.
Vaginal.
Whatever
What did you
Natalie
think
thought
it
it
was? Yeah, vaginal cathedral. No,
Something.
No, that was Red Cathedral was the answer. I think I got it written down.
vaginal temple. It's vaginal, temple.
Yeah.
She was like
yeah.
furnace. That was really
funny. Partial
I only
credit.
heard of it
You got
because you
partial
guys
credit.
Yeah.
it made you guys talk in
Yeah.
Russian,
So
Russian accent.
yeah.
Forgot.
So Furnace, I have to give a huge thank you to Hobby World who sent me the game from Russia.
Wow.
So there's a lot of big news that's been happening. I feel like every time I go onto Instagram, it's getting a release in another country. So this is now going to be, I think, a worldwide game for the most part.
Are you worried that it's sitting on your shelf like spying on you?
I know. It's like,
Yeah.
I checked it. I ripped it up. It's like in pieces on the ground. But it's getting so
Messing
the
with
US,
the election.
Yeah. The US
Jeff like
release.
crying like this box is tight.
These boxes is terrible. sorry, Comrade Jeff. Tell us more
Oh,
about
it's okay.
furnace.
It's okay. It's getting a U.S. release next year, so Arcane Wonders is going to
Oh,
pick
cool.
it up and release it. So they're
Wow.
a great company. So Hobby World is who publishes it normally. They're the first ones, and then I don't know how you sell the rights to Arcane or Arcane picks it up. I don't really know how that works.
I think they
necessarily,
distribute
but-
it. They're the U.S. distributor.
Yeah, so they're going to distribute it here. It's a 2021 release. I don't know when. I'll revisit it when it comes out because it deserves to be seen by the
It
world.
looks so cool. I want
Okay.
it.
He likes it
Stupid
better
Sexy Jeff
than
always
Lorenzo.
gets all the games I like.
So I don't know if I liked it better than the It's so different. So
He hates us too.
Furnace is an engine. Do you guys want to eat anything? You want this? Furnace is an engine building auction game. It does
Take
play
him away.
1 to 4, so there's a solo mode.
Oh, okay.
And
Have you tried that?
Nope.
I forgot he hates it.
Yeah. No, I don't
he
hate it.
hates
I really
it.
like it.
I know. I'm
So
just-
you are 19th century capitalists, of course, working to manipulate the market and manage your industrial empires.
Ooh.
Doesn't that just sound like an engine building
that just
game?
oozes Russia.
It just sounds like it. Okay.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Well, I know the when you say the theme, you're like, cool, great game.
Yeah,
I
I'd
get to
rather
be
call
this
it vaginal
19th
temple.
century- Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we get to the motherland?
Oh my god.
So each player starts with a random production building and a capitalist, which I think you're going to like this because it has a cool rule-breaking power.
Ooh.
So you have one building to start with and then a rule-breaking
Love
lady
that.
or man to
Love
help you.
that.
You also start with these very cool, they're just like small wooden discs. Okay.
Yeah.
They're numbered 1 through 4, and it doesn't have to be sized differently, but they did, which I think was cool. So the 4 is bigger than the 3. It looks
yeah.
you can kind of stack
And
them.
you don't stack them, or you do?
You
He
don't
said
have to,
you
but they're
stack-
just kind of
okay.
cool that they're.
That's
I don't
cool.
know. They're
Yeah.
easily you can see them if you're number blind. Is that a thing?
In other words, you cannot count.
Yeah, if you can't count. Oh man. Do we have to write the timestamp on this down to cut this out?
Oh my god.
We've lost Ryan.
Yep, he's gone.
He's a goner.
Oh my god!
So,
Okay.
Are you ready for
Yeah,
more?
go ahead. Thank you for that.
okay, so the game is
I'm
broken
gonna
into.
send you a letter,
A letter.
a thank you note with
thank you
a balloon.
Oh
The
man.
balloon.
Oh my god, that was fun.
Game is broken up into 4 fairly quick rounds. Okay, 2 phases because this is an auction and engine building game. The first phase is auction, and the second phase
Action.
is action or
Right.
production or engine building
That's how
or
Princess
whatever.
of Florence was.
Yeah,
It had
exactly.
an auction phase and an action.
Oh.
phase.
Yeah,
Okay,
same
yeah.
kind of thing. So there's a certain number of production cards that get flipped out. That's kind of like the market. Okay, so with a certain amount of players, you flip out a certain amount of cards, and so we played with 3 of us, and I think 7 cards came out, and then everybody starts to bid. Okay, so you go one by one. You go one by one, and you take your disc, and you bid on one of these production cards. Okay.
Okay.
So everybody places all of their discs on the cards, and then
I'm sorry. That was like the
losing it.
funniest thing
That
I've heard.
was funny. Like caught us off guard.
I can't stop thinking about it. Can you imagine?
In case you're not
I see
blind.
size, but I don't.
can't see
I
it.
can't see the
Well,
number.
that's small, so it must.
That's gotta be a
one,
one.
I guess.
smaller.
I can't recognize
It's just
numbers.
blurry.
Can't recognize numbers.
all the numbers look like ones. I don't know. What to tell you.
They're all yellow.
They're all yellow. Oh man,
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Where should I go back to?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Where should I?
You're bidding.
You said you bid on production.
So you're bidding on the cards. So
I'm
you're
listening.
taking your discs and you're placing one at a time in player order on the cards. Okay, and once all the discs have been placed, there's some rules. You can't place the same number on the same card, and you can't place the same color. So you can't place two discs on the same one. You can't place two.
Okay.
Discs. Get it?
Yep.
Once all the discs are placed, the
Get it,
person.
idiots.
Yeah. Get it?
it?
Come on.
I mean, you're number blind.
What are you, number
so-
blind? You dummies?
You can't do it again.
I'm like sweating.
Oh my
I know.
god!
It's like warm down here.
Oh,
It's only
man.
66 degrees down here, but we're all
I'm
like,
like sweating.
God.
Okay, here we
Heat
go.
emanating from Jeff's testicles is just making it.
Man, it's-
Oh god. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so once all the discs are on the cards, I don't even know. We're talking about furnace, by the way.
So
if you're wondering,
sorry.
furnace. All the discs are on the card. You're basically going to go in card order from left to right, and you're going to
Evaluate them.
evaluate the card. So if you have the highest bid on the card, you're going to win that card, and that's going to be added to your production line.
Okay.
If you don't have the highest, you are going to activate that card, and there's some resources or conversion on the top.
Oh. So you might do that on purpose.
You absolutely should be doing that on purpose. So, for example, if I put a 4
Dummy.
on this, no, I'm just, well, yeah, what are you?
absolutely would. What do you
Come on,
think?
man. So,
I got real like, oh,
it wasn't angry.
Jeff just
It was
hit me and we're all
it was
still trying to-
exciting. So if I played
better fucking do that,
yeah.
idiot.
So if I played a 4 on a card, Natalie played a 3, Ryan played a 2. Ryan, you would activate the card first, and you would get the number that you played times the resources that are on there. So if it was a steel card, and it has 2 steel on the top, you would get 4 steel. Natalie would get 6 steel because it times by the number, and then I would get the card. So I
gotcha.
don't get any resources, but I get the card
Okay.
in my production line.
So I get to steal cards later.
No, steel like a steel beam.
Oh, like steel.
I know.
Okay,
That was just a joke.
Anyway,
So Natalie
here's-
then gets it better than me, right? Because she gets 3 times.
Yeah,
the
she
steal?
would get 3 times. So your 3 might be somewhere else to either win a card, or here's what they call this. So when you do this, the 2 and 3, you guys would be getting compensation.
Yeah.
Is what- and you
Like
have to
Burger King.
demand. You have to demand
it.
the
Yeah, you gotta
compensation.
demand it.
So you get the compensation.
Did you
So
talk
if you're
about
the
this when you were
lower
playing
ones-
it? You're
Yeah.
like, I demand compensation.
Yeah, we were. So
That's funny.
the lower ones will get resources, but the bigger one, if whatever number you win it with, will get the card. Like I won a card with a 1 once. I was trying to get the resource.
Oh,
that I
and nobody
needed,
put
and no one
anything
put
on it.
anything on there, so
yeah.
I win it with a 1, which that's just kind of how it goes. So once all the cards have gone through, and either people have taken them or they're discarded, or they're been given compensation, then everybody kind of simultaneously will run their engine, okay? In whatever order you want, you activate these different cards, and the cards, what they'll do is they'll give you one of the 3 resources or multiple. So there's 3 different kind of resources. It'll give you those resources, and then you're attempting to try to turn those resources into other resources, possibly into other resources, into money, okay? You want money. Some of them will just say 2 steel will get you $2, so you turn in 2 steel and you get $2. Some
Okay.
of them will say
is the
things
money
like,
bigger too? Because what if I'm number?
Yeah, I know. Well, they are.
Are they really?
Yeah,
the
I
money
think
is
so.
Oh, that's good.
So as
They thought of everything.
yeah, and you can some cards will let you upgrade other cards, and you flip it over, and it gives you a little better transaction. So now you can turn 2 steel into $2 twice. So you can activate the thing 2 more times.
Sweet.
There's some rules about once you start activating a card, you have to finish it. It's really, really crunchy. So you play 4 rounds,
Okay.
getting cards, activating your cards, and you want to, by the end of the game, turn everything you have into money. So the most money at the end of the game wins.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
cool. Sounds cool.
we played it in 45 minutes.
Oh wow,
It's a
That's
short
that
game.
quick.
Yeah. So it says 30 to 60 on the box, and I think that fits.
What was the
where it
weight
is.
like?
The rules are simple. The rules, you could
one of
teach it in
those
10 minutes.
Simple
But
rules,
it's just
difficult-
crunchy. It's
yeah,
crunchy to think about,
decisions.
all right, how am I going to get, the most money out of my engine? And then looking at the board and looking at the string of cards and going, all right, if I can get 2 steel here, and I can get that card. That'll let me take those 2 steel, turn it into coal, and then I can turn the coal into oil, and then I can turn, it's like all that kind of running through your head makes it a little heavier.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be rated very like heavy. On Board Game Geek, but I think it comes along with just it being so kind of trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And at some point you just have to like pull the
cool.
trigger and just do it.
Why is it from? Is it like a Russian designer?
I have no idea.
The designer is Ivan Lashin.
Yes.
So yes. So what does it say for weight? Probably like 2 something. Okay.
2 even.
And that's
okay.
And I would say yes for rules and explanation
medium
is
light.
perfect. And then for crunchiness, it's a little heavier than that.
Here's the artist. Sergei Dulin, Marta Ivanova, Ilya Konovalov, Oleg Yurkov, and 2 more.
Boom. And 2 more.
And 2 more.
I know and 2 more. He doesn't play a lot of games.
Polobianoyarov. Then it says Sergei Fedorov, Vladimir Konstantinov.
Those are my favorites. So I love the auction mechanic. I think the auction was really cool. I love the idea that you win a card with the highest, but you don't get any benefit from that card, but it's now in your production. And I love the idea that you, like Ryan said, you purposely want to play something to get the resources.
Yeah.
So if Ryan puts a 4 on that card, I'm like, awesome. Now I can put a 3 on it, and I'm going to get 6 steel or coal or an oil. Some of the cards even let you convert before, so
to Judaism?
Yeah, you can just convert wherever you want. So it's really cool. And
normally it's like a long time.
It's crunchy when you're trying to do
What's wrong with
It's
you?
crunchy when you're trying to figure all this stuff out in front of you and trying to move things around. There's a variant in the game that you can play where you just, whenever you get a card, you have to add it to your engine line in order. So you can take it, and then you either put it at the front end or anywhere in the middle. And then during production phase, you have to run it from left to right.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
what that does is I think it increases the strategy of where you're going to play.
Absolutely, because if I'm getting this before, I'm getting that instead of after. Ooh.
It also, from what I read and what I think, it'll lessen the AP of like, now you just have to run it this way. So I have to run it from left to right. Versus the regular version, you can pick how to run things. So I think the production phase will be a lot quicker.
Though, does the time need to be cut down if it's only 45 minutes?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
Did you play with 4 people?
Play with 3.
Did they like it?
Yes. Cool. Yeah, and I think everybody kind of felt the same, where it's like, man, it's good because the decisions are tough. It's tough to make these decisions and then figure it all out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you want, but do I have, like, and then if you're just one short, it might throw off all your plans.
It's a bummer you don't want it anymore. I guess we'll just take it.
Yeah, I guess you can just take it.
Yeah, I guess so. You can just get it in 2021 if you want.
Yeah, I'll get the Arcane Wonders one.
Yeah.
So overall, really enjoyed Furnace. I would play it again. Maybe I'll make it next week, or maybe next time we record, I'll just bring it over and we can play it.
Cool.
I like this new thing of playing games before
We're playing games now. We played a game before.
I'm not golfing. No,
we'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah, because I still have a backlog.
Well, last week we played that Jetpack
Joyride?
or whatever.
Jetpack Joey.
It's a kangaroo.
Little kangaroo just like, wee, in a jetpack. Yeah. And we also played Tag City.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think Furnace could be a good way. There's so many times at game night where we have like an hour left, and it's a hard, do you just play a bunch of little, do you play quicks twice? Do you play, so this could be a good one to end game nights. I would say there are people who are not going to like this game. If people don't like taking resources and turning it into other resources and trying to figure that game out, don't play Furnace.
Yeah.
Like, I know people that just don't like that. They don't like, well, why am I taking this to turn into that to then do this?
Yeah.
People don't like
people
that.
don't like that.
So if you don't like that, because I really do. If you don't like that, this is not your game.
It can be so satisfying personally to pull it off.
Be like, oh, yes, it works so perfectly.
Yeah.
So I think the unique auction mechanism is what's going to probably draw people to this a lot. And then the crunchiness of the production. It's good. And the art is awesome.
The box cover is one of the coolest.
Yeah, it's just really it's almost like elegant. Like you look at it and you're like, that's a classy looking box.
Right, and that's not something you often say about the motherland.
Yes.
Russia's just a classy country.
Unless you're Russian, then we love you and thank you for listening and downloading.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Feel free to send us games.
Don't send me to the Diablo Pass.
Yeah. That was Furnace.
Awesome. So, recently, Natalie and I did our Designathon challenge with Stefan Feld and played all of his games that we owned. I was pretty satisfied with it, and before I was really aware of Castles of Tuscany and Bonfire, I wasn't actively looking to add any more Feld games to the collection. Well, since I've been doing this Polyomino pilgrimage, I sought out Amerigo, a Feld game I've stayed away from over the years due to a couple of facts. Number one, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Number two, it's gotten mixed reviews. The former being the main reason. I just always found it very hideous.
Oh, yeah.
The map just being like this boring archipelago type thing of blue and green. The game always intrigued me, though, what with the cube tower, which is what I love about Shogun, and the polyomino tiles. Natalie must say something right now. What do you got?
I was remembered making a joke, and I found it.
About Amerigo?
Yeah. I think it arrived. I told you that there's a packet on the porch for you.
A packet? A packet on the porch. You got a packet?
And I said, what's your package? And you said Amerigo. And I said, well, Amerigo and get it.
Oh.
And then he didn't even LOL like a jerk. So hopefully someone out there.
It was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I meant to LOL.
You didn't even respond to it.
Because that's a dad joke, and I like that kind of stuff. No, you're killing it lately. So anyway, I stayed away because of the mixed reviews and the fact that it is ugly.
Yeah, it is. And it's big.
Well, I am so glad that this polyomino journey that we're on led us here, because I have to tell you that this game is fucking incredible. It is fucking incredible. Every fucking second awesome. I was playing this fucking game was a fucking riot of epic fucking proportions. Wow. I fucking loved dropping the cubes in the fucking tower. I fucking loved figuring out which fucking actions to take. It was just a great fucking experience. I fucking loved it. Yeah. Here's how it fucking plays.
Oh my God. Right.
Is this the rest of the explanation?
The game takes place over 5 rounds, and in each round you take 7 actions. Each action is tied to a certain color of cube, which does a different thing. You can sail your ship around the board with the blue cubes, buy polyomino tiles with the red cubes, place them with the green, buy technology tiles with brown, so on and so forth. So to determine how many action points you get to spend on each action is dependent on the highest number of cubes that emerge from the cube tower. So basically, if you're in the first phase, you dump all of the blue cubes into the tower. The tower was seeded with cubes during setup, and some number of them got stuck inside. So if you don't know how a cube tower works, there's a few games that use this, like Shogun or Wallenstein or Amerigo. There's others, I'm sure, as well. Basically, it's a dice tower. Except a dice tower on the inside has ramps, right? That the dice fall down.
Trickle through.
A cube tower has shelves. And so when you drop the cubes in, there's holes in each shelf, but some of the cubes, by random chance, will get stuck in the cube tower. And so then when you place other cubes in that cube tower, it knocks and jostles some of the ones that were stuck in there before loose, and they come out, and that creates the random element of like a die roll, right? Okay. So now you know how a cube tower works. So you will get, when you dump those blue cubes in, you will get some number of cubes that come out. Say you dumped 5 blue cubes in there, and 4 blue, 2 green, a red, and a white came out. You take all those cubes out and then assess them. You say, okay, there's 4 blue cubes. That's the most. So that means each of us get 4 action points to spend. You can then decide what color action you want to apply those action points to. So you had 4 blue. You don't have to take the blue action. Even though you only had 2 green, a red, and a white, you could take 4 white actions. Okay, so that means we can take 4 action points in either blue, green, red, or white. We get to decide, and it's the best thing in the world deciding this, because all the actions are awesome. They're usually all very good for you. So deciding whether to spend the action points moving your ship to explore or to use them as red to buy more polyomino tiles is a great decision point. And that happens every single turn of the game, other than the turns where only one color comes out, which doesn't happen that often. So the game has a lot of similarities to other Feld games, and just playing this, man, it felt so fucking Feld, didn't it?
Yeah,
it just felt like, it was like,
Feld.
This is the Feldiest Feld I've played. Yes. You score points for filling up islands with polyomino tiles, and the earlier you do that, gets you more points, like Burgundy. The tech tiles felt a lot like those yellow tiles in Burgundy. The cube tower was so much fun. It didn't really feel like anything, but it also still, in some weird way, did. You know, it felt like, in a lot of Feld games, he's got random elements that don't feel random. Like, again, I'm going to take Castles of Burgundy. You roll the dice, and what you roll, it's not inherently better than anything else, right? A 1 is not better than a 6.
Right.
It's just, those
Depends
are the
on
actions you can take, and you can
what
modify.
you want.
This is the same thing. It's like you roll a bunch of colors. You could get like, oh, I really needed to take this action if you plan poorly enough. But it still feels like there's always something good you can do.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like, you know, you're trying to make a decision, and you're like, oh, I don't know, should I take blue action or should I take red action? And you're like, well, red's coming up in 2 turns, and I'm pretty much guaranteed to be able to take that action. You know, so like, nothing feels like you're going to miss out.
Right. Agreed. And putting the cubes into the cube tower, oh my God, that was so fun. That was just so fun. Like, and swing, 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 swing. And they all come out like, oh, here's what we get to do. The game might have been the most fun to play out of every Feld game I've played. Like, pure fun, honestly.
You in Castles Burgundy?
Yeah, so the enjoyment I get from Castles of Burgundy is different. It's not just like joy. Like, I'm not just like, wow, this is cool.
He was
but in Amerigo, it's like, oh wow, I can't wait till it's my turn. I can put the cubes in. Yay! Like it was like that kind of giddy stuff. It gives you enough to chew on, though. Even though I'd say it's lighter than something like Trajan or Bora Bora, but it's not the same weight as Castles of Burgundy. I think maybe a little lighter, but it's about that same weight. Here's what I liked. A lot. I liked a lot. Like I said a second ago, it was just pure fun playing this. Picking up the cubes, dumping them in the tower each turn was just really giddy fun. Figuring out which actions to select each turn was almost the same amount of fun. You got all these different actions to take. Oh, I got 5 action points. I can take brown, blue, green, or yellow. Oh my God. You know, it's like, what do I do? Some of the actions were more interesting than others, to be sure, but they were all necessary and felt fulfilling. Other than this one action, which we only played wrong because we got a rule wrong. We were supposed to sweep the leg, and we didn't. That's the only reason we didn't take that one action more than not, right?
Yellow.
So while there were moments in this game where I took a few minutes to decide what to do, never did I feel like I had no clue or what to do next, or like it was hard to get. It felt very much, and Natalie mentioned this during the play, it felt very much like Castles of Burgundy, where it flowed really well, and it was just pure fun, and I loved it. It was hard without being difficult.
Yes.
Which may make no sense, but I think if you've played it, you'll understand what that means. What I didn't like. All right, this game is an eyesore. It's not fun to look at. It's ugly, which it also shares with another game called Castles of Burgundy. And maybe every other one. Oh my God, I actually wrote that in here.
You did?
This game is UGLY, and it doesn't have an alibi. It's just a Feld staple at this point, though, with the ugly stuff. Honestly, I think if Feld games looked as nice as Uwe Rosenberg games, it might be much harder for me to decide which one is my boy. The production quality and artwork hurt it that much for me in terms of like where I place it in the pantheon of greatness. The box is also enormous, which is not a big deal for us. The only reason it's like that is because the cube tower. It's exactly like Shogun. We talked earlier. It's like people at Queen Games were like, "Hey, we got about 50,000 of these cube towers left. What do we do?" I know. Let's call up Stefan Feld. Hey, Feld, can you design a game around this cube tower? We got 50,000 of them. Sure.
Yep.
Sure, bro.
Yep. Done.
No worries. It's got one of those large, like, coffin size boxes that's really kind of antiquated now. Yeah, that's like a thing. Oh. I guess Tidal Blades is another one that has a big box. But anyway, that's a nitpick. Other than those complaints, there wasn't anything about our play that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. Like, there wasn't anything I was like, well, I wish this would be like that. There was nothing like that. I didn't have any complaints. A way I know I like a game a lot, and this is obvious, but this for me happens when I like a game a lot, is when I speak about how much fun I'm having during the game.
Yeah.
Right? Natalie and I both said this on like the second turn of the first round. We were just both like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you were even explaining the rules and before we even started, and I was like, I'm going to like this game.
Yeah. It was. So that said, I place this directly under Castles of Burgundy as my, in my Stefan Feld. I'm going to have to redo my 100-point system.
Really.
I would rather play this than possibly any other Feld game, including Castles of Burgundy. Wow. I might just like, because I look at it, I'm like, this was Jeff, it's just so fun. It's just fun, and it's quick, and it's light. It looks huge and boring, and it's not.
At all.
It's like, all right, quickly, I want to mention the polyomino aspect before I get Natalie's thoughts. I said the same thing about Princess of Florence. This game doesn't really feel like a polyomino game. It's got polyomino tiles in it, and you're using them to fill up spaces on your island, but
it could have been any shape. It could have been anything.
We just played a game before the podcast was recorded that definitely felt like a polyomino game.
Yep.
Yeah.
This game, Amerigo, doesn't really feel like that. There's not like, in most polyomino games, the one we just played included, part of what I enjoy and love about the polyomino part is figuring out how to place them to where they fit. It's not hard to do that at all in this game, in Amerigo. It's super easy, and so it's not really a thing you consider. The fun in Amerigo is more centered around the cube tower, the actions that you're taking, how to maximize points, which are, the polyomino tiles are necessary. That's a word, right?
Yeah, but it's not all about those.
it's not
like
all about
RL or Miyabi.
It's
or
not a
whatever.
pure polyomino
Yeah,
game,
sure.
which is how I defined it before. So what do you think, Natalie?
Oh, well, if you couldn't tell, I loved it too. Like, so much. It was
Wow.
so awesome. It seriously,
really good.
I'm not even kidding.
This is
It
something
felt,
else.
it felt just like Castles of Burgundy. Like, you know, the feeling that we get and the reason that we love that game so much.
Yes.
It's just, it felt so smooth. It felt fun. It felt like interesting. And like Ryan was saying, it felt like difficult in like a good way. So when you're making decisions, you're not just
So you're right.
sitting-
Decisions.
decisions. When you're making decisions, you're not like, oh, I have no idea what to do. You're more like, oh my
Yes.
God, do I do this or this? They both sound
Yes.
awesome. I don't know which one to pick. And so like that makes it
Yes.
so fun. And
Good call.
and I agree. I mean, we're like sort of, you know, unofficially ranking it last night. And I might put I was
Wait, so
trying,
this is unofficial.
it's
Let's just make it
unofficial,
for me.
This
For
is,
but
me,
I was
official.
Now it's
struggling
official, okay. It's
official
between
for me.
to make it before or after Trajan.
it's
I-
hard when
I-
you have that just play in your
Yeah.
brain. You almost need to play them
I agree.
in a row. Like
You're
Like,
right.
The only reason I think it might be before Trajan is because it doesn't have any sort of like finicky thing or like, oh, if I would have just put this here, you know, or oh, now I'm kind of stuck. It doesn't really like have that.
God, that's what I love about Trajan.
And that might be like the only reason it would be above Trajan. But
Okay.
oh, I agree with you. I told Ryan this morning, we played it last night at like 9:00, and this morning we woke up and I was like, we should play it again. Like
If Natalie didn't want to just
great.
play it again, like right now, I would send it home with you and have you just bring it back for next episode.
Yeah.
Because
But you're gonna play it again.
we would play it today.
I can buy it on
guess we're
Amazon
playing it
for
today.
$64. So
I look on the Geek Store. That's where I bought it. I bought it on the Geek Store for like 35 or 40
And like,
bucks.
if Devin likes Castles of Burgundy and you like Castle Burgundy,
I do.
I feel strongly that I'm right to guarantee that you guys would like.
Oh yeah. I don't personally. I don't think you're gonna like it better than Trajan. I think Trajan.
Yeah, but you're
I think you
gonna
like
like it a
Trajan
lot.
more than we like Trajan.
I'm hoping
Correct.
we're not like
Yeah.
pumping it up so
all
much
right.
that you're gonna be like,
I pump games up all the time.
You're gonna
I'm
be, like,
nervous
let
about a lot of
down?
games you guys are about to play. I'm nervous about like Trismegistus and some of these other ones that
I can't wait. I still
I
can't wait.
pumped up.
But
I know.
this, I agree with Natalie. This is, I think, a slam dunk for
Yeah.
you
Wow.
and Devin specifically.
Okay,
like I said,
I'll try
like
to
how
make it
many
happen.
times do I like listen to rules and I'm like, I'm gonna like this before we even start.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't, you know, usually I listen to the rules.
Well, it
I'm like,
also
okay.
has happened a couple ways. And after the rules were over, you were like, I thought I was going to like this, and I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was,
So
dude,
big
it was
thumbs up.
knocked
Cool.
it. It's a home run.
Amerigo.
That's
couldn't believe
Amerigo.
it. Yeah.
Maybe I'll Amerigo get it, Natalie.
Amerigo and get it. Hey, good one,
Ew.
Jeff.
Thanks.
What else you got, man? You got anything else?
Yep, I got a game called Egizia.
Oh my gosh.
How do you spell
Shifting
that?
Sands.
Akitoka.
Egizia.
Okay.
Akitoka.
So this is by Akitoka.
Or Akitaka.
Akitoka.
Akitaka.
Akitoka.
Okitoko.
This is the same crew that made Coimbra.
Oh,
And
you like
the other
Coimbra.
games.
Lots
I'm
of
forgetting.
other
Lots of other
games.
games. Lorenzo.
They had a hand in Grand Austria. I don't think it's that
Oh,
exact.
But yeah,
design.
some variety
Those
of
are
the
some
Alma
good
mater.
or whatever.
ones.
Alma mater.
They did alma mater.
So this is a updated version. Okay, so
nourishing
Egizia came out in 2009. This is Egizia Shifting Sands. This is an updated version that came out, I think, within the last year. And so the same crew made it in 2009.
29.
Yeah, 29. The same crew made it, and now it's just an updated one. They had a Kickstarter. In the Kickstarter, I think you could have gotten the old game as well, but I
Why
think
would you
people
want
are.
the old game?
It was. I think the board was two-sided. You can play on the old board if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. I see.
So anyway, what you're doing is you have to imagine the board is the Nile River. Okay.
Oh,
That's
You're-
the longest river in the world.
is it in Egypt?
Wow, that's an interesting fact. That leads it maybe into our Instagram inbox topic.
Oh, and maybe our game.
What?
Are you serious?
Oh my
Oh
god!
my
Full circle.
gosh! Let's talk about the Nile. So, imagine the board is the Nile River, and that's where you're mainly focused. Okay, you are placing boats up or down the Nile River. I guess what
Boats and hoes.
do you go down a river? You go down a river, right? Not up.
You can go upriver, upstream
go-
or downstream.
yeah.
We're
You can
going
go either way.
downstream because I
Downstream.
don't believe we're going to. Yeah. So you're placing boats downstream, okay? And it has a Takanoko or not Takanoko, a Tokaido or high-rise feel where you can go as far as you want, but you can never go backwards.
Okay.
So
It's like real life.
as you flow down the river, say flow a couple times. You place your boats
say flow a
on
couple
on a whole bunch of different spots. So I'm gonna take my turn. I'm gonna flow down the river and I'm gonna put my boat on one of the spots. Okay. So the spots are there is cards that run down one side of the river, and the cards have cool, like they'll give you like special abilities, like cool powers for the rest of the game. They give you production for later in the game. Some of them have like immediate actions. There's a bunch of different cards. Those get switched out every single round and come out randomly on the board. So that's like huge variability. The other side of the board had these like little tiles, and a lot of times they help improve the strength of your workers. They help move the it's called like the Nile flood, and I'll tell you what that means in a second. So there's tiles on the other side of the board. So there's cards and tiles. So you take the cards, the tiles just activate something, which also the tiles come off the board and you shuffle them up, and then those are random every single round as well. And then toward the middle and bottom of the board, there are these monuments. So you can also decide to put your boat at these monuments.
Okay.
And what the hard part about this is there is always one less spot than there are people. So not everybody can go to
Yeah, you showed me a picture of that.
all the other places are only one person. So only one boat can go to that card, and you take the card.
How many
and
hoes?
That spot's gone. All of them. All the hoes.
Okay.
Yep. And then same thing with the tile. Once you go to a spot, it's closed. So once everybody has placed their boats all the way down the river, you can place up to 8. I think only maybe once or twice did we have to place all 8, because at some point you're working right halfway down the river, you might play one there, and then
I see.
You can't play like all 8, right?
For sure.
Once that's done, then you work on you produce. So some of the cards you've gotten has production on it, and you're producing stone, and you're also producing food. So you have to then feed your workers, which I know some people hate feeding your workers, but it's done very easily. You're not actually taking physical resources and adding them to a pile. You're just looking at the number that you produce and the strength of your workers.
Okay.
And you have to have more than that.
You also have to consider, if it was designed originally in 2009, then that was the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Agricola came out around then. That feeding your workers was the way to do stuff.
So if I produce 10 corn, whatever it is, and the strength of all 4 of my workers total 8, then I'm good, right?
Okay.
So then you just move on,
Yeah.
right? There are certain tracks that will help you out in that. If you don't get those, you lose some points, but I don't want to get too crazy into it. So you feed your workers, and then you look at each of the spot and the building zones on the board. So there's 3 building zones, and you go from top to bottom, and then you are the people that are there can decide to start building these monuments that are there. So the monuments are kind of cool. There's an obelisk, there's a pyramid. The new part of the board is this colonnade. I think it's called a colonnade.
Lemonade.
Yep. Oh, Liz Lemonade.
No, it's a colander.
Liz Lemonade. Oh, a colander. Sorry, it's a colander.
Oh. And so what's cool about this, so when you're producing stone and you have the strength of the people, so let's say I want to bring 8 stone to the obelisk, right? I have to have the strength in my worker in order to carry the stone to that spot.
Okay, physical strength.
Yeah, so the physical strength. So then that worker has to be flipped over, and he can't then be used on maybe the next part of
You
the
get
thing.
it now,
So it's just
Natalie?
one,
You
yeah,
finally
Natalie,
get it?
totally understand.
Yes.
Okay. So you're spending not only the stone, but the strength to build in these different areas.
Okay.
Right?
Yep, love it.
And so you do this 5 times down the river. So there's just 5. So then it resets. So you place your bricks. You're getting points for every brick you place in all of these different pyramids and obelisks and colonnades. As you move through, the obelisk, you're getting just straight points. If you move around this colonnade, which are just like smaller pillars, you can hit points where you get special powers or abilities for the game.
All I think now is you're at a restaurant, and the waitress is like, "What do you have to drink?" You're like, "Can you make him a colonnade?"
A pink colonnade?
And then she comes over with a colander and just pours lemonade through it into your glass. Thank you. Very
less
refined.
Refined.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the different pyramids or different buildings all kind of work a little differently and score slightly differently. And then there's a spot at the bottom that also can give you like cards, and you get cards that will score end game points. So if you get to
That's cool.
Yeah, the last one is end game points, and then you go down the river 5 times, and that's it. And then you total up points for majority in certain areas and all these little things that we don't have to get into. But it was good.
Yeah.
Cool.
As I was playing,
I'm excited about it.
As I was
Are you
playing
getting
it, I
don't have
enjoyed
it coming.
Oh.
Yeah, I could just bring it in 2 weeks.
We'll swap for Amerigo.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know if Natalie will let you.
Yeah.
So, what I liked is the decisions were very. difficult sometimes for me to make, which I liked because I want to put my boat in every single one of the spots. I want everything on the board.
That's what I like. I like that kind of stuff.
Because, and realistically, you have to look at like, all right, I'm not going to go all the way down the river on my first spot, right? On my first boat, I can't go all the way down the river because then I can never take anything. So
you got nothing to do.
In the first 6 spots, what do I want the most? And then it's like, well, not only in these spots, I then have to wait 2-3 people.
Right, what are they going to do?
If they then take both the building spots, I can't build in that spot anymore. I can't build the pyramid this round, and that sucks. So now, do I just go to the pyramid and pass up on these production cards or pass up on these tiles? And I really liked making those decisions, or looking at what other people had and go, well, maybe Bill doesn't have enough stone to build in this area. Let me wait. Or there was one time where both I think Bill and I kind of were at the end of the river, and Joe could then place kind of 3 and take all the last 3 spots.
Bill and I,
but it was, I liked that. I liked the tightness of making the decisions and then having to pass up something good. I like that feeling a little bit. I like the feeling of, okay, did I make the right choice? Yeah. It just like
those are the best kinds of
pass
decisions in the game,
so that you don't lose out on something that might not be available.
That's
anymore.
part of what we loved about Amerigo. You have all these actions you can take, and you're sitting there like, all of these are good.
Yeah.
But when I take this one, I'm not taking those 3.
And it's like, oh god, it's trying to weigh like, all right, I want this because it's awesome, but I need this one. I need to be able to build. That's how I'm going to get points. So do I skip it or do I take a chance? I really liked that, and we were all like when we were playing like standing up and looking and being like, all right,
oh really?
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Fun.
Yeah, I love the variability. So if it was going down, you're going down the same Nile River every time, but the cards on the side are different. And they're not only like they don't go in the first spot in the first round every time. You literally shuffle them up. So next game will be a completely different first round than the first round that I played.
Okay.
So I really like, and the tiles, same thing. You shuffle up tiles, so every spot is different in every single game. So I really like that. Like I said, I love like the fun, the risk reward kind of thing that we were just talking about. I thought the art is a huge upgrade from the first edition.
Yeah.
I think the board is great looking.
It looks so good.
It looks really cool. The look is very cool.
I've wanted that game for a long
Yeah, I think people need to play it because it's really good.
Would it be good 2-player?
I don't know. So that was one of my things that I've done some research and I looked.
Because you're not getting each other's way as much,
You're not getting each other's way as much. I know you have to block off a bunch of different spots. There's like very specific 2-player rules. I haven't played a 2-player and I don't know if I'm going to bring it out just 2 because I've even read some things where people just like you're almost too nice and people just like then go back and forth down the river and just take everything. And it's like, well, that's not
like fun.
Yeah. So as you're explaining it, I'm kind of like, I don't know if this would be good for us.
Yeah, it might not be a great 2-player. So that was one of the things that I've read. I can't vouch for that. I also think at the end where you're taking some cards, you have to build the cards. So like you have to provide the stone and the strength to take cards, but you can luck into some points. You can pick up a card that you happen to be like, I'm done, or I'm almost done with that.
The Takenoko syndrome.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me a ton. I've read some people don't necessarily like the breakdown of the cards. There's a lot of cards that focus on some of the buildings and not some of the other ones. But I didn't go through the cards and count how many have the pyramid in it or how many of that. But I don't mind lucking into points because it's not like you get that card every time. It's not like you get a free card all the time. You still have to pay the stone and you still have to pay the worker to get the cards in the first place. So that was a little bit, that lessened my complaint.
Yeah.
But it would be a complaint where
if you lost the game,
it ends up being a 1-point
game
because this is the card I just picked up last and it was something that's already done. And
I don't think that would feel good if you won that way either. Like,
and it's not like
by a point now.
It's we scored. I want to say we scored 100 and something. Maybe we got close to 200. And these are 8-point cards at the end of the game. But still, when you're close, it can be something. So they're not like, I got 50 points on this card. It's not that.
Right.
But it can be, you can just pick one up and happen to have it done. So that I think that could annoy some people. But other than that, like, Egizia is good.
Sweet.
It's solid. Yeah, Akitoka.
Akitaka.
I wrote it down.
Akitaka.
So yeah, it was
Ashitaka.
I would recommend playing both Furnace and Egizia.
The Shifting Sands version.
Shift those sands.
So Natalie and I went over to hang out with our good friends Date Night Dice last weekend after much deliberation about whether we should or shouldn't go. And an hour into the trip, Emily gets a call from the Board of Health that their oldest daughter Liv was exposed to COVID. Boom, 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 boom. That it happened the day that we went over there to hang out with them. Of course, we stuck around because, I mean, if we were going to be infected, it was too late at that point.
Yeah.
As we were all around Liv already. I felt really bad for Ben and Em, though, because you could tell they felt really bad.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for them because it was almost kind of like, well, we do hate you now, but, you know, get over it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
no, I felt
she's like
I would have felt just as mortified.
Like all week, like, are you guys okay? I've
Yeah,
felt so terrible. I mean, everybody's good, FYI.
Yep, we're all healthy.
Even
Everybody's
Emily
great.
And Ben's family, everybody's good. So
Liv
I think
has not seemed to have contracted it, so everybody's good. But I did feel really bad for them because you could tell they felt guilty, and it's like they didn't do anything wrong.
Oh yeah,
right. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't know that was going to happen. It just, of course, it happened right then.
I know. It's just all
oh my
of course,
gosh,
these times we're living in.
Yeah. But so we stuck around to play the new Druid City Skybound game, Tidal Blades. Now, Jeff and I saw this game at Gen Con a few years ago, and it just came out like a week ago.
Man.
Wow.
But man, I remember just looking at it and being like, how awesome.
I wanted to play it so bad. There was
It
a
looks
line,
so
or there
great.
was like you had to sign up for the demo, and
really?
because we wanted to just sit down and play it. And I also thought you could buy it. And they were like, no, you can't buy it. Little did I know, 3 years or so later, it was going to finally come out. I wanted to play it ever since I first saw it then, and Ben backed it, and he was like, hey, you guys are coming over. Do you want to play Tidal Blades? And before he even finished his sentence, I was like, fuck yes, we do. Well, we got into it, and first of all, if you haven't seen pictures of this game, this might be the most beautiful game.
Gorgeous. The colors, it's like... Yeah.
One thing that they spent a long time on panned out, because this game looks, I mean, good Lord, it looks great. Again, look up pictures if you haven't, because what I'm saying isn't going to do it any justice.
Yeah.
It's so lush and bright and colorful, and the artwork is just out of this world awesome. So after playing ugly game after ugly game, it was a nice breath of fresh air to play something that looked this good. So in this game, your goal is to score the most points by completing these mission cards. I know they're not called mission cards, but I'm going to call them that for the remainder of this explanation. You're trying to complete mission cards, end of game objective cards, running up a few different tracks, and fighting monsters. That's how you score points to win. Okay. The game is all about timing, which is a cool thing. You start the game only able to do 2 things per turn. As the game goes by, you get more actions to use, and the order in which you take them becomes really important. There's basically 4 or 5 like different island boards, and if you've seen pictures of this game, you know what I'm talking about. There's like a bunch of different little boards on the thing. These island boards have action spaces on them that you're going to go to worker placement style, and the order which you go to these becomes very important. There are basically 4, like I said, or 5 of these boards, and you're taking actions. Like, did I say by worker placement? Because that's how you're taking the actions, and it's really cool. The game revolves around that worker placement mechanism, and the primary way to take actions is with these different colored dice that you're rolling, and the whole game is really centered around these dice. You're using these dice to complete those mission cards, to attack the monster and stuff like that. You're basically rolling dice and trying to get successes that match whatever check you're trying to roll for. So, for instance, there's a mission card that I have that requires 3 blue triangle symbols. Right? So I'll attempt it, and if I succeed by rolling those 3 blue triangle symbols on my dice, the card gives me a couple benefits. It becomes a way to help fight monsters later, it scores points for me at the end of the game, and it also boosts you up these tracks that you have that just make you stronger and score more points eventually. The trick with the mission cards is that in order to complete them, you have to be on the island that matches the symbol of the card, which can be tricky, as you may not want to take the action of the space on the island, but it has the same color and symbol of the mission card you want to complete. So you have to kind of decide, do I wait to complete this mission card, or do I do it now and take a lesser action at the island even though I don't really want to go there? So that kind of thought and decision was really cool. And you also have to consider, what are the opponents going to do? Because it's worker placement. So if I want to wait till next turn to go to that board, all the spots might be taken. And then when I go there, I don't get to do anything other than the mission card. And that would suck. Things I liked. The game, as I said, was gorgeous. I mean, everything from the art to the graphic design to the components is of the highest degree, which I would expect from a game that's been in development for years and years. The game was unlike anything I had ever played before. It felt like an Ameritrash game. You're fighting monsters, you're completing quests, you have these minis, but you're also using worker placement, managing resources, and scoring victory points. I don't know, it was like, I have not played anything like this before. I liked the way combat worked. There was a die you rolled every time you rolled dice that could hurt you. So if I'm checking doing a skill check, you have to roll this die, and if it comes up and it hurts you, you have to either take damage, which is losing dice, or if you have this resource, you can spend it as like armor to protect you. And that was a really cool thing. It's not often that you play something unlike anything you've ever played, right? I like the way combat worked. I liked that if you ran out of those shells to protect you with that hurtful die, that you would have to lose dice. I like that you could re-roll your dice if you didn't get what you wanted, but you had to re-roll that hurtful die again every time. And so that was kind of like, ugh. All right, so things I didn't like. I'm kind of struggling with what to say about this game. For some reason, I didn't love it. Like, I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't love it, and I'm trying to figure out why. Kind of. I think it wasn't because I didn't win, by the way, just so you know. Yeah. I got second place.
I think Emily won.
Emily won.
Yeah.
Yep. I was right up there in the mix. Like there's games where I don't like for instance, I played Bora Bora one time with Jeff a long time ago, and Natalie, we played that, and I remember the whole game I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then I got dead last, and I was like, I don't even know why. I want to play it again, but I remember when that happened, I was like, I don't like this because of that. And that felt legitimate to me. I felt like I know why I don't like it. I don't like it because I didn't understand it. This game I understood. I got it. I was figuring it out. I almost won, and so that wasn't the reason. It wasn't because it was long, because it was long. It took us like 3.5 hours to get through, but we had a lot of distractions.
Yeah,
we had the Emily COVID thing. We had the kids there. We were just talking a lot. Yeah. But I still think it would be a long game to play with 4 people. Longer. But I think it was the decisions. The decisions to me, they didn't seem so interesting to where I was looking forward to my turn. A lot of the decisions to me felt obvious. They felt like, well, I need to do this, so I'm going to do this. How do I do this? Okay, on my turn, I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean? There wasn't a moment like in Amerigo where I was like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. What do I do? Oh, I love that. You know, there was always a clear, like, this is my best plan, and I got to get that done to do that. I got to go to this island, I got to get this card, I got to roll these dice. Also, the dice rolling mechanism, it was cool, but the roll to resolve everything was also a little bit lackluster. So you roll these dice, and then they're exhausted and you can't use them again. If you go to fight a monster, you roll these dice, and then they're gone. You lose them, and then you have to start over with nothing. There's ways you can like mitigate a little bit and help yourself, but for the most part, you like roll them, and then they're gone. And it's like
every time you like build it up, lose it.
Yes, exactly. You build it up, lose it. Then you got to build it up, then you lose it. Then you build it up, and it makes sense why they did that, because there's mechanisms in the game. When you kill the monster, you get lots of benefits and a lot of stuff, but you lose all your dice that you use to roll against it. And it just feels a little counterintuitive a little bit, or it felt a little counterintuitive, even though I understand why it was a thing. Just, the dice rolling wasn't that interesting to me. If I compare it to a game like Too Many Bones, which also has dice rolling and roll to resolve, it's night and day. Too Many Bones is just like this depth, and there's like every die does something different, and you have to figure out how to do it. Tidal Blades, it's just you're looking for the symbols. Yeah. I need triangles, I need circles, I need orange, And so it wasn't bad at all. I liked it. I enjoyed playing it. It was really fun playing with Ben and Emily. And I'm not trying to knock the game at all, but there was something about it, and I think that's why that it just didn't grab me so much. So overall, I thought it was a good game. It looked incredible. It played very nicely. I don't think I would personally seek it out, and I'm not going to say that you should. I'm not going to recommend, that you go buy this game. It's very expensive, but if you get a chance to play it, give it a shot, because you might love it a ton. You might have like the best time with it. But you might also be left feeling wanting, kind of like me. So I don't know, Natalie, I know you liked it better than me. What did you think?
I was just going to say, I definitely liked it better than you. Like, I mean, it wasn't like Amerigo, but I definitely think it was better than Good Not Great.
Clearly nothing's like Amerigo.
I know. Amerigo, I love you.
Amerigo. Have I ever done that before?
No.
Okay.
Not Amerigo. I really liked this game. I remember after it was over, I was like, I liked that.
Merry-go-round.
That was cool. I agree with you. Shut up, Ryan. I agree with you. It was definitely unique. It was not like anything we've ever played, and I kind of thought all of the different things that you did were like really fun and interesting, because they were like different. I liked how I like the dials on our like player board, and in like moving that and how it gave you stuff. I liked rolling the dice to fulfill cards. I liked how you had to fight the monster, and even if you didn't kill him, it was still a way to get points. I like that you could choose to get player powers. There's like a lot of different stuff going on, and I found it interesting, like trying to just like figure out like what to do, because it kind of felt also tight, you know, like it didn't feel like we had tons of time to do everything, even though it took a long time to play.
Well, again, that was a lot of outside circumstance.
I disagree with you about the dice. I mean, I don't remember exactly how this happened, but I was in a situation where like
overflowing with dice.
Yeah, I had a lot of dice at all times, and I thought it was so cool that like at the beginning of each round, when you move them over, you get to upgrade them, and now they're even better. And then it was even cooler to me that like the first upgrade is just like better, like way better than the base dice, but it still like gives you like every option, I guess, to roll the different like symbols.
Yep.
But then when you upgrade it even more, it's even better, but then you have to choose like which two symbols you want.
Yeah, the,
you know
the number of symbols go like this, but the amount of those symbols go up. Oh, I guess I'm just talking to Jeff and you.
Let me record this.
They
and we'll put it on
decrescendo. The amount of symbols decrescendo, but the number, but.
Well, let's just say
he's moving his hands closer together.
Let's just say
here you go.
Like
you do it, and then I'll
The amount of
Ryan's
symbols on the
hands
dice
are moving closer
like
together.
this, but the number of those symbols go like this.
His hands are moving further apart.
Like the first upgrade is like all of a sudden like there's no like bad side of the dice, and then the next upgrade is like 2 of the 4 symbols are on all sides of this dice, so like you're gonna get it, but also there's no option to get like the other 2 symbols, you know, and then on top of that, so you're like upgrading the dice, and then you have to lose them if you like fight a monster. And so that's another I found interesting, because then you're like, ooh, which dice should I use, because I'm gonna lose them, but obviously the better ones would give me better results, but then I'm going to lose them. Do I want to lose those, or do I want to lose these? And I don't know. I thought it was really cool and really fun, and definitely it was a gorgeous looking game.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to play it because
beautiful.
It looks awesome.
You should. Yeah, I would encourage, if you personally, Natalie, it sounds like she's the opposite. She would recommend it. I don't think I would recommend it to just go out and buy it, because it's, but you got to, if you get a chance to play this thing, I think it's a lot of money.
I don't know.
I don't really
have
money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not like $40. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's going to be like 41
if
or 42.
it sounds like something that you'd be interested in,
like
you have the
$43,
money, and then I would recommend it. I wouldn't just say like, this is a must-have kind of thing.
Yeah.
But go look into it, because it's beautiful.
Check it out because it's beautiful. Stay because
Natalie likes it. Natalie, what place?
And Natalie's got a sweet ass dog.
Probably last, I don't remember.
Man, she loved it even though she was.
No, Ben. I remember Ben specifically said, "Oh, I came in dead last."
So third.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember thinking I felt like I was doing pretty good, but Emily just like killed it with all those cards.
But sometimes when you're just having fun, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like,
that was a game. I will say that was a game where I didn't.
Yeah.
It was more about playing the game than winning.
Yes.
I mean, I want to win, and I care about that more than I've ever cared about anything. But down in like 8th place was the fun.
The fun factor.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, Jeff?
Yeah, I want to do 2 little small box games.
Okay.
So tiny box. When I say tiny box, I mean
Tiny
like
boxes.
a No Thanks or a Dark Stories or.
Give me 5 more examples, please.
Yeah, what are some other examples of things? Let me look.
Colorado,
Zoo Loretto, the other Lorettos.
6 Nimit.
The 6 Nimit, 5 Nimit, 4
Insider.
Nimit. Hanabi. Okay, so those little box games, they're both kind of aimed at family kid games, and this first one is called Robots.
Robots.
Yes!
Yeah. So this first one's called Robots, and Robots was nominated for the Kinderspiel.
This year?
2020. So it's nominated for
bro.
Kinderspiel, which is the children's game of the year. I'm assuming Kinder.
Kinder means
like
child or
kindergarten.
kid.
Yep,
So we have, yes, like kindergarten.
Yep.
Yes.
You got it.
Yep.
And so it was advertised, which is kind of funny. It was advertised as like a kid's version of the mind. Okay, because the theme is totally not the mind, but because you have to I'll tell you. So the game is a deck of cards, and on the front of the card is this like path. So the robot, it's got this cool like it's robot, and there's
Oh my God.
there's this path. So the path might be a zigzag or like a loop or something, and it's just this path with a robot on it. Each spot on this path are just these little symbols. So there's a bunch of dots on the along the path, and there's different symbols like skateboard or an ice cream cone or something. All these like little
the
kid
dots
things,
are like
right?
beeps and boops, right?
Yeah, they're all beeps and boops. This game involves
Condoms,
beeping and booping.
dildos.
So one player becomes
Booping
the
sounds
robot.
Like peeing and pooping.
Yeah. Peeing and pooping and beeping and booping. I gotta go beep and boop.
Is that a way to get around the Natalie fart joke? If I
Maybe.
use beep and boop
Beep
instead of pee and
Yep.
poop?
Yeah. Natalie just beeped
Natalie
herself
booped
right up
her
the
pants.
Oh.
Natalie, don't boop on my face.
Ew.
So one player, this is a kid's game, people. Let's rein it in. So one player takes the top card, and on the back of the card, so the front is that path. On the back of the card, it tells it gives 3 different speeds of the robot: a fast robot, a medium robot, and a slow robot. And then next to the speeds of the robot, it gives you one of the symbols that's on the card. So
only one player sees
only
this.
one player sees it. So the one player looks at it and it tells you which robot you are going to control that round. And you announce, hey, this is a slow robot or a medium robot or a fast robot.
Oh,
so
you tell
announce
them that.
the robot speed. And then the person who has the card is going to start with a beep or a boop, if you would like. And they start the game by beeping. Okay? So the round starts when the person goes beep,
Okay.
like a robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then to end the round, they will also then beep. So
But they don't boop?
that essentially, they could boop.
Okay.
Yeah. That essentially moves the robot along that path, but it doesn't physically move a robot. The movement is happening in everyone's head. So this person...
So it doesn't even matter if you're number blind.
It doesn't even matter if you're number blind. You don't even have to worry about it. And so this person goes, all right, it's a slow robot, and then goes beep, beep. Okay, and that's down the path. So everyone else has to interpret how far did this robot go along this path.
Based
what
on
symbol
the
is it next
distance
to?
between my beep to my boop.
Yeah, the one beep to the one boop. How far did the robot travel? So if it's a fast
can I
robot...
give you, for instance, would be like beep boop. That's like, okay, that's the
like
first
that's
one.
probably the
that's,
first
that's
one.
the condom
Yeah.
symbol.
So then everybody else at the table would go, oh, I think
What?
it's got to be the...
I thought I said there was a condom.
Yeah.
As one of the symbols.
Oh, boy.
It's a kid's game.
Kinderspiel.
Oh.
All right.
Robots
Yeah,
don't
okay.
wear condoms.
But then if you're like beep,
Go ahead. Boop. Boop. Yep.
then it's like that.
And then,
the end of
it
the
could be,
card.
it could be, yeah. And if
Could be
it
pretty
was
far.
if that was a fast robot, it could be the end of the card. But if it was a
Yeah.
slow one, it still might be somewhere in the middle. So everybody just discusses.
Oh, right. You say if it's slow, medium, or fast.
So everybody just discusses like where they think and what symbol it stopped at. And you get points if you pick the right one or the one next to it. It's a nice, silly like family game. I think.
That sounds kind of fun.
wanna
Yeah, I
play
brought it
with
over
the
here. I
kids,
think I wonder if Cameron and Lexi will
I
like it.
think they'll like
think
it.
they will.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
do
cool.
too. I think
And the
they're
other
gonna
one
like
from Pandasaurus that I want to give a quick thing is to have you guys? We've all played the game,
Yeah.
which we really like.
There's like 10 versions of it
So
now.
this is now the new one called Quick and Easy, which is quick but not very.
Oh,
easy.
okay.
So
Because
not
there's one
super
the other
easy.
way too. Like there's the game
Yeah,
Extreme.
Super Stream. So this is the other way. So the game works exactly like the game, and this is why this is on the stupid name list.
Yeah, the
There's
game
only
works like
two
the game.
piles, one that
Right.
goes up from 1 and one that goes down from 10. There's 50 cards in 5 different colors. So you know how in the regular game, the
Yeah, 100.
reverse rule...
Oh,
yeah, so there's
in
4
multiples of
piles.
10.
Yeah, there's 4 piles in the regular game, and it goes up and down from 100.
Yep.
The multiples of 10 is the reverse rule. This one is a color-based thing. So no matter what, you have to play cards according to the up or down. So if I play a red 5, then I could play a blue 6, and then a green 7, whatever.
Okay.
So in order to reverse and pull things back down, you play a number of the same color. So if I have a green 7 out there in the ascending pile, I can then play a green 2 on top of that. So now we're working ourselves from 2 up.
Got it.
So it kind of makes it a little more friendly for families and for kids playing.
Okay.
It. Because I think color and like that pattern recognition is easier than the 10s. Because sometimes even like as I'm playing, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, can I do
what pile am I
this?
going in? Does the
Am I
pile
going
work?
up or down?
Yeah. And you only have 2 cards in your hand. You have to play one of the 2 and then
Yeah.
you draw back up to 2.
Oh,
so
okay.
it simplifies the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
For it to be called easy, it's not like the easiest thing. It's definitely not like, oh, we win all the time.
Right.
But it's definitely a more simpler game. It's quicker because you only play through 50 cards instead of 100. So those are two little box Pandasaurus games that.
And what's that one called again?
Nice.
That one's the game, Quick and Easy.
Quick and easy. So it's not the game. Are you ready to play the game? Quick and easy.
No, it's just the game.
The game.
Quick and Easy.
Yeah, they've since rebranded and stopped
Yes.
that.
And the art in the
Quanchai
regular,
Warrior, right?
Yes, is beautiful. The art in the regular one is beautiful. This one has better art than the first thing, but it has like it's still the skulls sort of, but the skulls are like fancy looking. They're like wearing top hats, and they're a little more friendly looking skulls.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Yeah. So those are 2 Robots. The game, quick and easy.
Robots, awesome.
Nice.
Our last game we're going to talk about today is Rudiger Dorn's Arkadia. We also played this one with Ben and M, and because it's another polyomino game. And this is episode 2 of our polyomino journey. I was going to do a 2-part episode. Last episode we talked about a bunch, and then this episode I was going to finish it off.
We have even more to go.
We still have the Uwe puzzle trilogy plus New York Zoo to talk about.
Oh, we didn't talk about those.
We haven't talked about those yet.
Wow.
I wanted to save those for the episode where we do the grand finale.
Yeah.
But so this is really episode 2, and we're going to make it a 3-parter. So we'll probably do next episode. Look for our top 5 to be our top 5 polyomino games as we end, as Natalie and I basically end our journey of playing every polyomino game we can get our hands on. So, we played Arkadia. This one, much like Amerigo and Princess of Florence, was, Natalie?
Ugly.
Yeah.
U-G-L-Y.
This ain't got no alibi. It's ugly. Yeah, it's like... Okay, that's where the bad things end, however, because, man, this game was a lot of fun for me. You either place a polyomino tile on your turn, or you place workers onto the board. When you place a polyomino tile onto the board, it gets a seal put on it, not like but like a
seal of approval.
A seal of approval,
Yeah.
like a stamp, like a stamp token on it. So that goes on the tile, and that is whatever color of the card you played. So you play a polyomino card, and then you take the tile that matches on the card, place it on the board, and then you put a seal matching the color onto the thing. Okay. Once you fully enclose one polyomino tile onto the board, either by other tiles or by workers or a combination, that tile scores. Players earn seals are equal to the number of workers of their color that are adjacent to that tile. The player who closed the tile, who played the thing that closed off the tile, also takes this castle section and puts it onto the board that also has an RR color on it. After you take your turn, you can cash in your RRs for money. The amount of money you get is dependent on how many RRs you have, multiplied by the number of seals of that color showing on the castle tile. That probably was really confusing, and I'm sure half of you were half listening, so don't worry about it. Just know that it's awesome. At the end of the game, whoever has the most money is the winner. Here's what I liked. I really enjoyed this game a lot. This was put out, I think, in 2006 or 2007 by Rudiger Dorn. How to place the tiles and how to place your workers was really fun to figure out. Trying to use one worker to touch multiple tiles was a lot of fun, and manipulating the castle sections to get you the most money in those seals was also really cool. What was hilarious was that every time Natalie was about to place a tile or a worker to the table, Ben would just make this groaning noise. Like Natalie would be like, "I'm going to put this here," and Ben would just go,
I know.
And then we would she was
Apparently
getting
I
in
was
his
going in
way
all the wrong spots.
whole time. Every turn, he would just be like, "No," like really
And
quiet,
I'm
like
kind of
under his
like,
breath.
"What? Should I
Yeah, and then we would just all laugh. And Emily's like, "Do it anyway. Put it there."
She's like, definitely put it
It
there.
was really funny. Here's what I didn't like. The game was fugly. This is another one is so ugly. This game, I would say, okay, this, Amerigo, and Princess of Florence. Princess of Florence, to me, no, I think Arkadia is probably the ugliest.
Yeah, I think Arkadia is
Then
the
Princess of
ugliest.
Florence somehow. Then Amerigo is like the Tidal Blades of the 3 of those games.
Yeah, America's not even close to as ugly as those 2, but it's still ugly.
But it's like, why are these games so ugly? Like, stop being so damn ugly.
Well, they're the
the
old
workers
ones.
were these little, like, army guys almost that I used to play with as a kid. And the colors were, like, muted yellows and browns.
Yeah.
Yum. You know,
Muted
overall.
yellow and brown is not a good
That's not like,
theme.
that's a good color palette. Well, they're
Yeah.
probably like, how much does that cost? That's like 10 cents less.
Shut
than
it
putting,
down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah,
Can I
No.
just say something real quick? When you said it was
Yep.
fugly, doesn't that like technically mean fucking ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this game was fugly, like it's fun and ugly.
Oh, my God.
Fungly.
I don't think... Oh, my God.
What?
Overall, this was a great polyomino
My,
game
how
that
to
I would
turn
definitely
tables.
recommend trying out if you get the chance. Natalie, what did you think?
I'm not going to go into depth. I'm just going to read what I wrote in my notebook. Here we go. Arkadia.
Did you say you're not going to go into Jeff?
That's what it sounded like.
Okay.
That is what it sounded
I'm going
like.
to listen back. We're going to listen back.
I'm not going to
Don't
go
worry.
into Jeff.
Yep, that'll go on my little thing.
Arkadia. Pretty fun for an old game. Maybe one of the ugliest games ever, but still fun. Ben kept groaning at every move I made. It was fun deciding on where I put men and when to cash in.
Men.
the men,
your
right?
I'm deciding
Yeah.
where to put men.
The men. Let me put these men here.
No, it was. I enjoyed this game too. I thought, based on the looks of it, I did not think I would, but it was actually fun. But
fugly.
fugly.
Fun but ugly.
Yeah.
Fun
Also
and ugly.
fucking ugly. Fuck ugly and fun ugly.
This is the most F words that's been in this episode.
Yeah, sorry. Well, whatever.
Well,
We're our own thing.
well,
And we
who
have our
cares?
own network right
Everyone
now,
knows.
which is a little nice transition I'd like to take. A quick second to talk to you all about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com and the Gateway Network on Instagram. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find a bunch of other amazing content creators who are trying to grow just like we are. They're all amazing people who produce fantastic content. Today, we're going to specifically highlight our newest member, A Couple Games, run by Zach and Michelle. They do a podcast all about board games through the eyes of a married couple. They also have an Instagram account by the same name, at acouplegames.mz, and are just an incredibly kind couple of people who produce very high-quality content. So go check them out, A Couple Games. You can find them on thegatewaynetwork.com. So whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, please consider heading over to thegatewaynetwork.com to learn more. Well, we have finally arrived to the peak of the show. You've made it. It's all downhill from here. Hear Jeff talk for a while in this episode's Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Well. Apparently this is the peak of the show.
It is.
That's
This is
rough.
like the fun part of the show.
That's not great.
What the hell is that?
It's like all the games and the silliness. And
Yeah.
It begins. It's the people just fast forward to this part.
Yep.
Yep.
No one likes hearing about board games.
Well, let's not talk about board games then.
Okay.
Great.
This week's Instagram inbox, I just told people, again, ordered them,
I like that.
to just give
I
me an
commend you.
interesting fact. Weird, interesting. It can be about anything.
Oh, I like this.
So this is us just, we're going to learn.
I like
okay?
interesting facts. This
A lot
is a
of
good idea.
A lot of people are doing school from home, so this is just how we're going to learn. Okay? So a
'Cause we don't have the
frequent
internet.
listener who we haven't talked to in a while hasn't participated in the inbox in
I
a
guess?
while. Yeah.
I want to guess too.
Noodles.
I was going to say noodles.
Yeah, noodles.
Ah!
Our good friend, Nella, is
Where
back.
has she been?
Yeah, we haven't seen her in a while.
She tells us Noodles play. Elephants can't jump. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think I knew that.
Because you need knees to jump, and apparently they have 4 elbows.
Oh, you can't jump on elbows.
I don't know. That's that. Okay. I have also not
interesting.
fact checked any of these.
That is interesting.
So I'm just assuming. That
I hope
whoever
people
said
lied to you.
these
I really hope people lied to you.
I'm not taking
I
the time
can't
to do
imagine
that.
elephants. can
Walruses
jump.
don't have
I
stomachs.
feel like that's probably.
Yeah, I'm not
true
doing
I'm sure
that.
that's true.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting.
From our buddy Gabi over at the Board Game Snobs,
like
who
him.
usually starts his episodes with random
Yep.
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
So there's a little bit inspiration there. He says Viagra can help plants stand more erect and look fresher longer.
Plant.
No more flaccid flowers.
Wait, what do you just like stick a pill in the dirt, or
I
do you have to like
guess.
grind it
Well, you
up?
have to put it in the rose and then like massage its neck to get it to swallow
the
it.
rose.
C.P. Wilson.
Yep,
He
yep.
told me that Thomas Jefferson refused to declare Thanksgiving a national holiday. Did you know that?
Why?
Really?
I don't know. Again, I didn't.
Come on,
I didn't
Tasia.
do this.
Oh.
Swoozle.
This was all
Swoozle says
Austria.
wombat poop
Mother
is.
was a cop.
Do you know anything about wombat poop?
Yeah, who doesn't?
No.
It's cube shaped, apparently.
Wow.
That, again,
I want
not fact check.
to see that,
gotta
that
look it
wombat
up, I
boop.
guess.
You're way too interested in
I know.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a cool factoid.
Yeah.
Does that mean his butthole is a
Yeah, his
cube
butthole is
Yeah,
a,
it's
is
a
a
cube-shaped
giant
butthole.
long square.
Yeah.
So you can't put a round peg in this.
Okay. Let's moving on. Swoozle said. Also said Dolly Parton once lost a Dolly Parton lookalike drag queen contest.
I always love that stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of TV shows where
Yeah.
like Elvis is not dead and he loses an Elvis lookalike
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah.
All right, Swoozle with another one.
Oh yeah.
Natalie.
Oh,
Is it about Natalie?
It's about
Paul
farts.
Olsfield is a professional farter.
I knew it.
Is it the manualist?
Or flatulist is what they're called.
Professional.
Better known by his stage name, Mr. Methane.
Oh, Mr.
I
Yeah,
want to
Mr.
know what
Methane.
a professional.
I think,
Me-
I
is
think
that what
he's
it is?
called Mr. Methane. I know. Well, methane is obviously what it is.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we'll ask.
That was-
Bill
all right.
knows all about Mr. Methane.
I don't
okay.
understand
All right.
what a professional farter is.
Well, didn't you go to his school?
You tell. Bulls and Boards tells us
like
that
bulls and
cows kill more people each year than sharks.
With methane gas.
I don't know how.
I know that they
Cows.
burn
Sitting on
methane.
them. Well, not a lot of people get killed by sharks.
No, that's like
number's
very
very
few.
minimal.
But like, how does a cow kill a person?
You try to tip it over and it tips you back.
Tips on top of you.
Stop. Emily. An ostrich can break a hyena's back with one kick.
Oh,
She
shit.
says this is her third grade animal report knowledge.
Oh, damn. She remembered that all the way back from third grade? Holy cow.
I did a report on ostriches in 5th
What,
grade.
do you remember
Really?
that fact?
I don't
about
remember
how
that
like
fact.
strong their kick is.
No, I don't.
Meatball Mentor says 1/5 of all calories consumed by humans worldwide are from rice.
Wow. Well, yeah. I guess
Rice is
most
a
of the
pretty-
people are over in Asia.
And that
Yeah,
rice-based
that's a staple.
meal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Janelle, Emotional Cyborg, sent me about
30?
50.
Awesome. Let's hear them.
No, okay, probably closer to 30.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'll just scan through. You see her icon here?
Yep. Oh.
Wow.
So she sent me a whole bunch. I'm not reading
You're
them
gonna
all.
pick like the best ones.
I'm not. She can confirm
You're going to make that
that
cyborg
wombats poop
emotional.
square. Okay,
Oh,
so
she said the same thing.
That was I got two of that.
Interesting.
Hippos sweat pink, like sweat the color pink. I guess.
A lot of these are about animals.
So does Jigglypuff.
Yeah, bats can eat 6 mosquitoes a minute.
Bats can eat. Yeah, I heard that.
When
That's
someone is allergic to chocolate, it is more likely they are allergic to cockroaches.
What?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means.
I mean, cockroaches live in our chocolate?
I know. That's
don't
what I
know.
was like.
Polar bears have hollow hair and black skin.
I've
Polar
heard they have
bears
black
hollow
skin.
hair.
Yes.
They have
So
black
like
skin?
Yeah, I guess so.
So if you shave a polar bear, so you could make a polar bear look like a panda if you shaved it right.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I suppose.
Here's another one about poo. Or beeps and boops. There is a world record for the longest poop. Like length,
Ooh,
not
gross.
time.
Oh, not like time.
Like a human poop?
How many crooks?
I don't know. How many Katie Kirks?
Yeah. That's from South Park.
Take a guess. How long is the longest poop?
Okay, 2 feet.
I think maybe by a person. I would think by a
Yeah.
human.
Okay.
Is it on there?
Oh yeah, it's on here. I just want you to guess.
2 feet.
You say 2 feet.
That's a lot. That's a long.
I'll say like 14 inches.
Maybe this isn't. So this is 26 feet.
What?
This is the longest poop, and maybe it's from an animal. I don't know. We'll have to.
Are your intestines 26 feet
We'll
long?
have to confirm. Maybe if you can constantly eat and just keep pooping.
Yeah, maybe while you're eating, it's immediately turning into feces.
I have no. And maybe it's an animal.
What
Who
a
knows?
relief
What
for
if
that
that's someone's
person.
superpower from The Boys?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's that one guy with the long.
Yeah.
Can
Can you imagine all that poop inside you? That would feel awful.
Can now.
Ew.
A blob of toothpaste is called a nurdle.
A nurdle?
A nurdle.
I thought a blob of toothpaste was the Instagram user at first.
There's a lot of
blob of
nurdles in the
toothpaste.
kids' bathroom.
Moose can swim. Did you know that? Moose can swim 6 miles per hour and they can run up to 35 miles an hour. These are all again from Janelle.
Interesting.
She said this, and I would have to again clarify this. There are more card combinations in a standard deck of cards
Yeah.
than there are stars in the galaxy.
What?
Really?
So I'm
I've
assuming
heard
like
something like that.
would a combination of card just be like the ace of spades is one combination?
Yeah,
and then,
and then-
would,
Yeah.
like the two. So there's 52 just cards to
yeah.
start with.
Two
And then
of hearts and the ace of spades.
that's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess
Still.
so. Oh boy.
That's nuts.
Wow.
But the
Yep.
universe of
The universe
stars,
is kind of big. There's got to be like
Pretty
three.
big.
There's got to be hundreds of stars.
Yeah.
maybe even thousands. That seems reasonable.
Yeah. Millions? I could see that.
Of the contiguous United States,
Billions?
Maine is the only state that borders a single state.
Oh, really?
Really?
Now you know.
Yep.
Okay.
That is interesting.
And from ZimV 2.0,
Okay.
Joey,
Yep.
did you know there is a snail? A snail has 5
I know a
buttholes.
snail. Oh,
A snail has 5 buttholes.
Yep. A snail has 5
definitely
buttholes.
did not know that.
And
Why?
You're not up to date on your buttholes.
Number of buttholes.
And then the last one is from Jim Gamer.
I heard of
boy.
him.
All right. Out of millions of
What is
creatures
this?
on Earth.
Did you know Ryan and Jeff suck?
Yeah, he says you suck. Fact.
This is really a roast.
It's not that interesting, but
Interesting
you suck.
fact.
Of the millions of creatures on Earth, humans are one of 3 species capable of laughter.
Hyenas.
The other 2,
And monkeys.
I think
There's some
chimpanzees
monkey- yeah.
are 1. Chimpanzees are 1, and then
hyenas,
rats
right?
are 2.
What about hyenas? That's called the
I don't know
laughing
if that's-
hyena.
But is that a laugh because that's the noise they make, or a laugh because it's like
like laugh.
Oh, you
Like,
mean
it's
like
funny.
they're actually
Maybe it's-
laughing?
yeah,
Wait,
it
so
could be.
rats laugh because something's humorous? That can't
No,
be.
their brains can't be that advanced.
You don't know anything about rats. They do stuff with rats all
I've
the
seen the
time.
Ninja Turtles.
Testing and
Splinter
stuff.
doesn't
That's
laugh
true.
very much.
Yeah, but he does know karate.
Orokosaki.
And then the last one from Jim. So do you know Gloomhaven has sold about 250,000 copies?
Okay.
It's ever bought.
Wow, that's a lot.
Any guesses on how many copies Monopoly has sold?
Oh god,
Like a
tens of
million.
millions. Tens of
250 million copies.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the time.
It's been
is
around
on that,
since like 2013.
but 250 million copies
Yeah.
versus 250,000 is number one game.
Mass market stuff is just you can't compare.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Well, yeah.
crazy.
And it's been around
Those are some
forever.
interesting factoids from Janelle.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Janelle.
Thanks, Janelle.
It's once again time for Natalie to take the helm and destroy a game that has no business feeling good about itself in this episode's Board Game Beatdown.
Number one.
Well, I know I said that we probably weren't going to do the beatdown anymore, but we couldn't resist
Good.
doing another one.
Good.
Today, we're going to beat down a game that's currently number 177 on BGG. I know it was a lot higher at some point. Has 99,000 ratings.
Wow,
That's
got
a lot.
99,000 but a bitch.
And it's rated 7.4. And it's called Carcassonne.
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 You want to tell the reason why we are doing
Yeah.
this?
Who was it?
You gonna end it with that, or are you gonna?
I'm going to end it with that one.
Okay.
Somebody reached out to us and said, I don't know if you did a beatdown of Carcassonne yet, but there's this really funny comment on it, and it was hilarious, and I'm going to
Okay.
save it for the end.
Awesome.
Oh, it wasn't just hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny. So that'll be the last one. So let's get started. J Popper 7 says,
J Papa.
there are 3 games I avoid like the plague: Catan, Puerto Rico, and Carcassonne. The pieces are crap, the gameplay stunted, and the game objective a joke. I mean, what's the significance of a place like Carcassonne in human history that they gotta make a game about it? A real waste of time and completely pointless to boot. Even when you've emerged victorious, you don't feel like you actually did anything to deserve victory. I know the Germans are trying hard to stay away from the violent themes in board gaming, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Watching paint dry might be more fun by comparison.
It's absolutely
Could you imagine
ridiculous.
being angry at the place?
Stupid
the
Germans.
location?
What has that ever done for us in history?
Speedway supporter says, no
Like
soul,
Speedway.
no appeal, no fun, no nothing.
Oh, there's
Oh.
nothing.
Wait, there's no nothing. Means
No
there's a lot.
nothing. Yeah.
If there's no nothing, it means there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Great
Find
gamer
who told
says,
us that.
sucks and boring.
Oh,
Beery says,
Beery.
ugh.
beer me.
Why do so many people love this game? Honestly, to me, this is a bland nothing of a game, typical of so many Euro trash games. The theme, such as it is, makes no sense. The artwork is uninspiring, and the gameplay is pedestrian. If I had a choice between spending an hour playing this and staring at a wall,
Okay.
I'd feel more entertained staring at the wall.
Wow. Well, it
Staring at the wall.
depends on what's on the wall. If there's a TV with porn,
no,
it could
just
be fun.
the wall.
No,
Oh.
just
You
a
can say
blank
TV,
wall.
just a blank
All right.
wall.
Well,
Sakaranbo one, I don't know.
Sakarambo.
Can't understand how this useless game seems to be so widely appreciated.
Well, I think
All games are
There has
useless.
to be a time when you
Useless.
play Carcassonne. If you,
Yeah,
if
it has to
I
be
played
like a
Carcassonne
gateway.
right now in my gaming journey,
And it's like,
I would probably feel similar. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I don't
man,
want to play
I would
Carcassonne.
love to play Carcassonne.
But I
right
think
now.
it's because you've
Yeah,
played
it's
it.
got, like,
It
a
has a
special
spot
place
now.
in your
Like, and you
heart.
played it early on. It's like your gateway game.
Orlean.
if it was like an
Yeah.
Amerigo situation where you're like, oh, this is an old game that a lot of people like and you play it right now, I wonder if you'd like it that much.
Who the heck was it that told us this? I
don't
cannot find it.
remember.
Huh.
I remember
Continue.
it was somebody we know. Okay. Jay Goyas says
Nope,
it is
found it.
Okay. It is a simple game, easy to teach and very good to attract non-gamers to our beloved hobby. However, I don't know why I feel a deep hate for the game. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There's no chemistry between us.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! Before you read the one,
Okay.
I'll tell
sure,
you.
Sure, sure. Your Doom says, I must be missing something. Snooze fest for me. Just can't get into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't disagree with that. I mean, I can,
yeah.
but I'm not mad at you for having that opinion.
Yeah. J4572002 says, my first Euro game and probably the last one. Boring.
Man, there's been some
And that's what
Euros
you're going to
since.
say about, like, you're like,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to base
That's what-
all
yeah, you're
Euros
never
on.
gonna
Every
do
Euro
Euro
is just
again
like
after
this.
Yeah,
that.
okay, guy.
He's got a point. Every single one's the same. They're all the
Yeah,
same, dude.
Okay.
Every one.
Kuchik
J
says,
Bob 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
No.
9, 10. Who cares?
cares?
7, 7. Okay.
How the hell?
Oh yeah, remember that?
That's
Yeah, I
absurd.
remember that.
Yeah,
we were talking about that
remember
RAW. I was listening to it. I was like, how did Natalie get code
Just seven,
777? It's like, well, they all have 7 letters. Only one of the 3 of them had 7
That's
letters.
so embarrassing.
And you got it. And
I
just
didn't
like,
even
you
wanna
got it.
tell
damn it.
you.
Why did I say
Point's a
number 9?
point.
Kuchik says, this
What?
is a... Kuchik?
Okay.
Okay.
Says, this is a horrible, mean game. People steal your cities and roads,
Yeah.
and they put an extra farmer to completely cut you out of the loop.
Oh.
I hate the adversarial
Oh,
nature
man.
of it. It's a horrible game, and it turns the players into horrible people.
You are in for a sad awakening when you play other games.
Anything
I know.
else, yeah. If you think that game, in Carcassonne, where in the rules it actually says when
Help people.
someone flips a tile over, converse with everyone to figure out where you should put it.
Yeah, help each other out.
Hillip says, oh God.
Oh God, that's it.
That's good. Oh, God.
M. Mazala says, I would rather play Hit Me in the Face with a Stick than play Carcassonne.
I love that game. Hit me in the face with a dick. Wait. What?
I think the beginning is going to need like a disclaimer.
Sergeant Pete says,
Sergeant.
childish and a total bore. How can anyone take this
Bore.
serious? Take this serious.
Well, you shouldn't be taking games too seriously anyway. So
Right. Let's go play Hitting Me in the Face.
Onino Hugo
stick.
says, dominoes with a point salad
What?
scoring system.
dominoes. With a
I guess
point?
I can see
where you're,
dominoes.
connecting
Yeah, you're
them.
connecting
Okay.
them, but
Poor guys
whatever.
only played dominoes.
Slot a bard fast.
Slide a bard fast. Slide a bard.
Spell that, please.
Oops.
Is it not Slot a Bard
messed up.
Fest?
No, it is, but I put the same comment as above, so I must have pasted
Oh.
it incorrectly. So skip you. You just have a funny name.
Slide a bard
Yeah,
fast.
Slot a Bard Fest.
Koala guy 4566 says
Cute. He's like, what's the cutest thing I know? Koalas. I'm a koala guy, bro.
Carcassonne is the only game on my list that I've ever rage quit. This game makes my blood boil. The farm
Why?
rules are the shittiest thing I've ever encountered in a game. I hope I never play Carcassonne again.
He
Probably
hopes-
because he sucks at it and got screwed.
He hopes he never plays it.
Yeah.
Why would you ever be in a position where, oh no, I'm playing Carcassonne again?
You're gonna play this.
All
You
of a
understand me?
sudden-
Yeah.
All of a
So-
sudden
I
you're
hope
just
I don't
playing
have
it.
to play it.
Well, I was hoping I wasn't gonna have to, but I guess I'm gonna have to.
All right, so I'm ready for the
Okay,
last one.
so we got a message from the user's name is Dog Powered Vehicle,
oh.
and his name is Eric Farmer. And he just sent a thing that said, have you folks done a beatdown of Carcassonne yet? Because I found this absolute gem in the BGG comments. And here we go. Natalie, let us
Okay.
know.
Hacksword says,
Hacksword?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, my phone just turned off. Okay. Take 2 slices of suck and spread sucknut butter and suckleberry jam. Layer alternating slices of processed American suck and slowly roasted suck. Add some pickles and garnish with crisp iceberg suck. This will yield a suck sandwich that sucks only half as much as Carcassonne.
That's great. The suck sandwich. That's awesome.
Sucknut butter?
Suckleberry jam.
He basically just took a bunch of words and just put suck in
Yeah.
there.
That's great.
That is so funny. How do you feel now, Carcassonne? Carcass
Boom.
1, you've been reduced to a carcass. 1 carcass.
Yeah.
Carcassonne.
Carcassuno.
Okay. For today's game of the episode, I thought we would kind of go into the same vein as Jeff's Instagram inbox and try something new. Take a break from the board game show. This is just going to be some random general trivia.
General trivia.
Is this board gamer bullshit, but trivia or bullshit?
It's just
Maybe.
trivia or
Did
trivia.
you try to find a loophole?
It's just trivia.
Then why do we have a bell?
Because trivia. You
It's
ring
trivia.
It.
One of you is going to get it first.
You have a bell
Oh, you're
because
asking
whoever gets
questions.
to ring it goes first. Ding.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
What?
It's trivia.
Okay. Got it.
Can you
Are you ready?
define trivia before we begin?
It's not about board games, you said, right?
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Catch up
Let's
here.
go back and listen.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the.
Okay.
Okay, this is not terribly complex trivia.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Not like Trivial Pursuit. Just kidding.
No, it's not like Trivial Pursuit. It's much easier than that. Jeff, can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Can you take some, like, I got a point. Natalie got a
Yeah.
point.
Score.
Point.
Take
Yeah.
some
I'll
score.
score. Yep. Okay.
Are we ready?
I just looked at his paper and all I saw was silly fun. That's all it said, like by itself.
That's the only notes I made.
Rolex is a company that specializes in what type of product? Jeff.
Watches.
Watches. Correct. So these are the types of questions
Ding.
you can
Okay.
expect.
So then I don't.
was like, is this a
I hit
trick
the bell
question?
and then I get to answer.
Correct.
Got it.
Like every other thing we've ever done.
all right, I gotta be faster.
Okay. Question 2. Which of these is the name of a Japanese system of alternative medicine, literally meaning finger pressure?
Finger pressure.
I was
Jeff.
gonna say, can we say?
Acupuncture.
No.
Oh, okay.
Natalie, do you know?
I thought you were gonna list them.
What?
You do have a list.
You said that you were
Which
like,
one of
which of
these?
these three?
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is it not there?
No,
Okay.
there's nothing. It's just, What is the name of a Japanese system
I guess
of alternative
acupuncture
medicine?
is more of like the
That's the needles.
needles.
That's the
kind of
needles.
thing.
So you have a couple seconds to figure out.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah. Okay. What is the name of a Japanese system of alternative medicine, literally meaning finger pressure? Jeff was on the right track. I'll say that. Yes, Natalie.
Massage.
No. Shiatsu.
Oh,
Oh.
that is that.
It is massage,
Yeah.
but that's like the
Yeah.
really hard
That's
massage.
like hard pressure.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
acupuncture
Ugh.
too.
Yeah.
No, that
You're
was a
right, that
good-
is needles.
I,
Yeah, that's
so
more needles, yeah.
I read a bunch of questions and I was like, okay, could some of these, like, I'm gonna have some that are easy, some that could maybe trip. That's why I was like, that could be that one. Okay.
Well, that was funny because you were like, which of these three?
I know.
And I was like, oh, are we allowed to answer
Well, I didn't say
before
which of
you
these
name-
three. I said which of these, but you're right.
Oh,
It
I
does
thought you
look
said
like there's
three.
going to be a list. Okay.
God.
Number 3. What is the name given to Indian food cooked over charcoal in a clay oven? It's specific Indian food.
Allie, do you eat a lot of Indian food?
Oh, I mean, I have eaten Indian food.
Oh. You gonna buzz in then?
Yeah, what you got?
I've eaten Indian
just say
food.
You've eaten Indian food.
It's like
Maybe
cooked over charcoal in a clay
In a clay oven. Like a gricola.
I don't know.
Okay. We'll move on. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that
That was number 3.
Indian food.
Okay. Number 4. When did the website Facebook launch? What year? Jeff?
I'm gonna guess the year 2005.
Oh, no. Natalie.
2004?
Natalie's correct. 2004. Oh, I thought you were saying it.
I know.
It was like,
Because I'm pretty sure it was the first when I was a freshman in college.
That's where I was. Yeah.
you were, yeah. Was it
Yeah.
between those two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs died from complications of which form of cancer? Hasn't buzzed in yet, technically. Jeff.
It's one or the other.
Yep, true.
Is it colon?
No,
Damn.
but it's the other one. Natalie.
Pancreatic?
Yes.
Natalie. I'm just gonna let Natalie ring in first.
Jeff's face. I live for those faces.
Oh man.
He was like,
Let me narrow the answers down for Natalie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically. I was like,
Yeah,
he doesn't say
exactly.
pancreatic, I'm saying that.
Okay, here we go. A doctor with a PhD is a doctor of what? If you have a PhD, what are you a doctor of? Jeff?
Medicine.
No.
Natalie, go ahead.
That's MD.
Pick the other one.
That's an MD. Medical doctor.
PhD?
PhD. Natalie.
Physics?
No. Philosophy.
Oh, darn.
I thought you were going to say it too. I kind of wish you didn't. I wanted to see what Jeff's going to look like. All right, here we go. This essential condiment is also known as Japanese horseradish.
Japanese. Oh,
Jeff.
wasabi.
Wasabi.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
That makes sense.
Wasabi.
Tutu.
Yep, nice. Okay. Which item of clothing is usually worn by a Scotsman at a wedding? Okay, I saw. Okay, here's Jeff. Now he's like,
I was like,
you like shot him out of the way
Oh,
to get
that was
to
yours.
ding that
That was all
in.
yours.
Are you sure?
I missed the
Yeah.
ding.
Okay, Natalie, what
A
is
kilt.
it? Correct. Like,
I was like,
Get out of the way. Move your head. My turn.
why do we even need this bell? Okay, George Orwell wrote this book, which is often considered a statement on government oversight. George, well, you probably read it in high school. Or
I
we're
know
supposed
this
to have.
name. I'm going to guess.
Yes, Natalie.
I'm not sure. Moby Dick?
Government oversight?
Well, maybe it's like a metaphor.
Oh.
The book about killing this
I've never seen
a whale?
I've never read that
Oh,
book.
we're killing this whale. Well, the whale represents the government.
George Orwell wrote this book, which is often considered a statement on government
That you would have
oversight.
read in high school?
I think so. I read it in high school.
Maybe. What
I
did
didn't
you-
I'm
read
a
a lot
lot
of the same
older
books
than you.
as you in high
Is
school.
it the Odyssey?
No.
No, it's not the
It's
Odyssey.
1984.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Big Brother?
What? Is that a TV show?
Yes?
I mean,
It
I've never
is.
seen that show.
No, it has nothing to do with the show. The Big Brother is the idea that people are always like watching you. And
Oh,
there's, like,
okay,
this,
gotcha, yeah.
You know, this oversight.
You know what?
happening.
You can
Okay.
just
Who
suck it.
directed the movie E.T., the extraterrestrial? Wow, Natalie.
Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stefan Spielberg. Stefan Spielbergo.
Yeah. Stefan Feld.
Which movie contains the quote, "Say hello to my little friend"? Natalie.
Scarface.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even want to get my
gotta
hand.
make
in
fun
here.
of how stupid I
You were
look
gonna
with
take his hand.
1994.
I know. I wasn't. She's moving so
Jeff's gonna-
fast.
Jeff's gonna
I'm in
lose his
trouble.
hand. All right.
Gotta get more aggressive.
I know. I
Jeff.
guess so.
We still
Let's
have.
move the bell.
Yeah.
There's still six. There's still
That's
six
right.
more. Six more plus the one you guys didn't get earlier, which I haven't.
Oh,
I
the
haven't
Indian
given.
Indian
food.
food.
Yeah. Okay. What is the oldest Disney film? Natalie.
Snow White.
Good Lord.
Man.
Am I right?
Did you go into my
Yes.
Google
No,
Docs?
I just
and
know
kick-
this stuff.
Okay.
She just knows everything. I'll just sit here. Oh wait.
She's so. I wish you could
Natalie.
see how aggressive
I know.
she's being
I
with
see
the
it.
bell.
I don't want to make eye
Honestly,
contact in case
I
something
read the
flies off
question
hits
and
me.
Jeff just leans back a little bit.
That wants to hit me.
All right. Who starred in the film, the 1973 film Enter the Dragon?
I've never heard of that film. Oh, I have an idea.
Jeff.
Though.
Well, I'll say the one, and then it's probably the other one. I'm gonna say Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay, it's probably
Correct.
like Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or something.
All right.
Okay.
I got one.
Yep. You did,
Yay.
Jeff. Coming back, man. Who is the main protagonist in the 1985 film Back to the Future? Jeff.
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. It's coming back. It's coming back.
I probably would have got it.
I
What?
almost got hit. I probably got it.
No, we're wrong.
I thought she was like, I would have got
Jeff
it.
never says like,
That
well, I knew it
But
too.
you were losing.
Yeah, I probably would've-
You were losing, so I
got
figured
it.
I'd give you the point. What's the next one? Snow White.
All right. What does NA stand for on the periodic
Are you serious?
Yes.
On the periodic table?
Yep. And if you're wrong, you go back 5 points, right?
Boo.
Wait, is that? Are you
Man.
serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Shit.
What did you think?
You were
Not
gonna say-
available.
Not
Yeah.
applicable.
Not applicable. Like what? No.
damn.
What does you gotta wait for the whole question? What is this like? What's that? Family Feud?
Yeah.
You buzzed in too early.
Yep.
What does NA stand for in
I
the
don't know. The periodic table
of
science
elements?
was my worst subject.
You buzzed in, lady.
Okay.
buzzed in.
It's I'm trying to think of any science thing that starts with N. It's
Does it start with N?
nitrogen.
Nope.
Salt.
Yes, it's sodium.
Sodium.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Do I get that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give that to you. 2 left.
I guess NaCl would be salt.
What are the scores right now?
6-5.
Are you up or are you?
No, I'm down.
Okay.
Natalie's
There's
up.
2 left, plus the Indian food one. All right.
Bum bum bum.
All right. So Jeff's got to get this. Well, no, there's really 3.
You got an
Which
extender.
musician starred in the Hunger Games movies?
Oh, who was it?
I think that was you. I hit a hand.
I know. I felt like a scratch.
Go ahead.
Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, it's
Lenny
Kravitz.
Kravitz.
Were you gonna say that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I knew it too.
I would have got
Okay.
that.
All right, and the last question before we go back to the Indian food one:
Holy.
in which U.S. state is Area 51 located? Jeff.
Is it Nevada?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I would have got that wrong.
It is. You would have said New Mexico.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Roswell.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, so we got the Indian food question left. And if
left.
Jeff
Tie?
can get it,
No,
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 you're
you're
up by
winning.
1.
Yeah, it's 6.
You're up by 1.
If sodium and salt count, but NaCl.
So
is
you think we
salt,
know
No,
I
the
think.
I'm
Indian
giving you
food
that.
one?
I'm giving you that. Even though, yeah, salt is not the element, but
Yeah.
sodium is what?
Do you think we know the Indian food one?
I think so. You might not, but I think you do. The name given to the Indian food cooked over charcoal in a clay oven. It could be one where I say it and you're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, but I never would have got it in a million years. Or you might get it.
You want to let it?
You want to let it marinate,
Simmer.
or should I just give it to you?
You're talking like Indian.
I think I have to cut
this
that
out.
out. I
there's
don't think I
cut
can leave
that
that
out. Yeah, I
in.
don't think either.
What on earth?
I'm just.
Indian food. Yes, yes. You have the continent of India and their food.
Well, it's not a continent, but yes. Natalie. American Indian food, maybe I would say.
Would you have known this?
Did you write the time on that?
I should.
Let's cut it back to like right here.
Okay.
What?
I can't find it. Okay. What is the name given to the Indian food cooked over charcoal in a clay oven?
I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I can just give it to
So
you.
I'm going to pass.
Okay. Here's their clue. Starts with a T.
Natalie wants to win by more.
Starts with a T. I don't think I know it.
Tandoori.
Oh, I
Heard of
wouldn't
it,
know
but-
Yeah,
that.
I think you might
I
have
didn't know
heard of
like
it,
what
but
that.
You pick one of
meant.
these games, say it's walking.
Trismegistus.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Natalie.
Good job, Natalie.
Wow.
On your very aggressive play style.
You won, yeah. Hey.
Yep. Jeff's going to go home with a few
It's a
welts on his
win.
hand.
Well, the first few I hesitated and I didn't get them.
Yeah, no,
Also,
you got it.
you know what's funny? Is like every single time you guys are remotely close. I mean every time without fail. Jeff is like, I think Natalie got it. Never once does Natalie say a word. She's never like, well, you know. Every time she's like,
Oh my god!
every
Well, I knew
time.
that one.
I noticed that. Okay.
I say
know the
things
letters.
like, "Good job, Jeff."
Good job, I guess. You got one
Or
right.
I knew
Cool.
it. I knew it too. I would
I know
have
it.
got it.
Oh,
That's not even what I
I
said.
know it. It's funny. So last episode we talked about games with terrible names, and since today is opposite day, we decided we'd tell you the top 5 games we think have the best names or awesome names. To me, a good board game name draws you in upon just hearing the name of the game. It needs to evoke something inside of you and can't just be nonsense. And all of these games do that for me. When I hear them, I get excited and just think about it. So we're going to go in a circle. We're going to go Natalie, Jeff, me. Natalie, what is your number 5 game
That's
that has a
funny.
good
I didn't really take that
name?
same approach.
Okay, let's hear what your approach was.
None of these. I don't get excited by the name of the game. I just think it's a well named game.
Boom.
Okay. I don't really like my number 5.
What?
Like the game, or you don't like the name of it?
I'm like second guessing. I wrote like 3 different ones for number 5 because I couldn't decide.
Pick your least
Just-
favorite.
All right. I'm gonna say for number 5, flip ships,
Okay.
I like that one.
because it's like it describes the game. It makes it sound like kind of like a fun time. Doesn't sound boring, you know, like
Yep.
flip ships. That sounds like something that would be cool. And it also was like
The action that you're
the
doing.
action
while
that you're
playing the game.
doing.
Yep.
I don't know, and it's fun. It's kind of like a fun thing to say. Flip ships.
Flip chips.
I like that one.
Yep, very cool. Awesome. Jeff, what is your number 5?
Yeah, I went in a direction where sometimes there's like dual meanings to words.
Yeah, or it's
or
like
names,
clever
or
name.
something
Yeah.
that is creative.
Cool.
Is what I went with.
Creative,
So,
yes.
my number 5, and I'll explain it, is ice cool. Okay.
Because it's like school.
Ice cool is kind of sounds like school. I think that's
Yeah.
why I did it. And that you're in a school.
You're in a school.
You're penguins. It fits the theme.
You're running around the
so I think
school.
ice cool is a cool name for
Yeah.
a board game.
To give a third meaning and third dimension to
because
that.
it's cool.
Beautiful. Yeah, okay, I went completely different route here. I just went on games that evoked awesome feelings in me, or when I hear. So this number 5 game, I own it, have not played it. When I first I backed it, and then because of a play with the designer, I unbacked it.
Oh yeah.
But one of the reasons I backed it was because of I just love saying this name, and it's Gloomhaven. I think Gloomhaven is just a really awesome sounding title.
Yeah.
That when you hear it, for me, I kind of like I want to know more about what Gloomhaven's all about. It's just a cool mishmash of gloom and haven, and I just think it's really cool. That is my number 5. Natalie, what's your number 4?
My number 4. I can't decide.
Do you have 3 for each number?
No, but
We're done
all right.
38.
I'm just gonna go with what I wrote. Okay.
Okay.
For number 4, I picked Red 7
Ooh, bad choice. I'm just kidding.
because it sounds like meaningless when you just hear the name, and it probably sounds
Awesome.
like a bad name. But then once you learn the rules and you play the game, it's actually like a perfect name because like the Red 7 is the most important card or the most powerful card in the game, and it like totally. It seems meaningless, but totally isn't. Basically.
Gotcha. Awesome. That is your number 4. Jeff, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is one of Ryan's favorite games of all time, and it is called Broom Service.
Oh, baby!
You did say it was
I
opposite
do love this
day,
game. It's
so
I do love this game.
Ryan
Yeah.
doesn't like this game. Broom Service, I
Ryan
think, is
doesn't
a
like this
cute,
game.
creative name because you are witches. It's a kind of a pickup and delivery game. You literally are witches flying around on
Service.
brooms to deliver things, and they would
Services.
probably call themselves the Broom Service.
The Broom Service. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's a good
it's
name.
Kiki's Delivery Service, the board
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
essentially. Very cool. Number 4 for me is a game that I played a long time ago, and the main reason I backed this game was because of the name. And then I looked at the game afterward and was like, "Oh, it's so fun!" And it's another game that just evokes awesome feelings in me, and it's called Shadows of Brimstone.
Yeah,
What
that's
a
cool
badass
name.
name
Yeah,
that
that is badass.
Shadows of Brimstone. And the game is badass too. It goes with it. It's kind of in the similar. A lot of these games for me that have these evocative names are they tend to be Dudes on a Map or Ameritrash style games,
Yeah.
which have better names than a lot of Euro games, which really just have names of cities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strasbourg
Right.
or Bruges or Carcassonne.
Like an uninteresting name is like Paris.
Yeah,
Or like-
right. A lot of games
you
have
know.
that. Right. Even though the game is about Paris or Amerigo.
Right.
yeah,
like
they're
it's a
about that,
fitting
but-
name, but it's not
But
like
Shadows of Brimstone
think about it
sounds
too
so
much. Creative.
freaking
Yeah.
sweet. Let's play Shadows of Brimstone. It's like a cool, like Brimstone is just a cool word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4, Shadows of Brimstone by Flying Frog. Natalie, what was your number 3?
My number 3, it's a game that I don't really like that much, but I think the name is a really good name. It is Calico because calico is a type of cat. And it relates to quilts, which
It
are
does?
both, yeah, calico quilt.
Oh,
There's a calico quilt?
And so it's like
didn't
kind of
know.
has a double
Calico
meaning.
quilt.
Nice, Jeff Tide.
And they're both like in that game, so I thought that was
Oh, that is
very-
cool. Dual
name.
meaning. And there's a
Dual
dual layered
meaning.
board.
Oh, that's exactly what it
Wow.
making me second guess myself.
is. Well, if it's not, don't tell us.
Well, I mean, it's not weird that Jeff and I wouldn't know that quilts are
yeah, it's
called.
not
So
one of my
I believe you.
Main hobbies.
Yeah, I believe.
My number
Secondary
3 is a game that I bought at Costco.
Oh, man.
Oh,
This
that
game
a
is
good name.
Beasts of Balance.
I haven't heard of that.
The game is cool.
Very cool.
And to think about, first of all, it just sounds cool. Beasts of Balance sounds like a cool
Sounds
game.
cool.
It has that good ring, but it's also the idea that you're literally balancing these beasts on this small little.
Yep. It works. It works on
And
both.
Yeah, so it works on a lot of different levels.
A lot of games
As you're
have
stacking it.
that have blank of blank. You can't go wrong. You can go wrong, probably.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a good rule of thumb that if you do blank of blank, that's
Go
kind
blank
of
of
sweet.
blank. Yep.
Like
My
King
number
of the
3
Castle.
is a game that I kind of really want to play again now after hearing Jeff talk about it last episode. And it's a game that I wanted more than any other game at the Gen Con Jeff and I went to, and it's called Spirit Island. I think Spirit Island is
Yes.
such a cool name.
The very cool name.
I mean, oh man, because the theme of that game, which goes along right with the name, is just awesome.
Because you're like, are the spirits.
You are the spirits
island.
inhabiting
Yeah.
the island, fighting back and that name certainly to me evokes those kinds of feelings and makes you want to know more about it. So that's my number 3, Spirit Island. Natalie, what was your number boop?
Well, first I want to say I
poop
was
is
right
number
about
2, yeah.
calico. It's like a type of fabric.
good.
Anyways, my number 2 is Quirky Circuits.
Oh,
I think that's like a really cute name
It's cute.
that really like fits
quirky.
the game. The artwork is quirky, and like playing the game, it's kind of like quirky too because you might like because you
yeah, you might make it go the wrong way.
right
and-
yeah you might be like stuck in a corner like oops, I'm supposed to get over here
Oh,
but I'm
it's
going this
adorable.
way because
Beep,
you know
beep.
it's like
Picking up little
blindly
dust bunnies.
boop, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boop, beep, beep, boop.
But I think that's a really cool name, Quirky Circuits. That's one where I'd be like, what is this game about if I heard that?
Okay, awesome. That's your number 2?
Yep, number
Jeff,
2.
what is number 2 for you?
My number 2 is a game called Euphoria. Build a better dystopia. I just like the take on calling it Euphoria and then calling it a dystopia, and then the theme of the game. I just think
First and last.
it just works. It just works with the theme. It works like even reading through the directions. It's witty. It's just a good. That's the name of the game.
Also, the game is awesome.
And the game is awesome. So that was
love
my
that
number 2.
game.
Euphoria.
Great one.
Build a
Yeah.
better
Awesome.
That's a good
dystopia.
game.
My number 2 goes along with that blank of blank kind of name. And I could have slotted either a blank from blank or a blank of blank. I went with the blank of blank. You'll know what the blank from blank is after I tell you what the blank of blank is. And this is Fury of Dracula.
Fury of Dracula instead of letters from Whitechapel.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay,
I was
I
deciding which one of those to
Letters
pick.
from
I
Whitechapel's on my
decided
list.
Fury of Dracula was what would take the spot because both of those words, Fury and Dracula, are sweet.
Sweet.
They're sweet. Think of the Dracula's Fury is just really cool. And I remember back in the day before I bought this game, I was like, that name sounds freaking badass. I want to play this game because of the name of the game. And it's awesome.
Yep.
It is awesome. I like Letters from Whitechapel better, but it's awesome.
Yes.
All right, that's it. Natalie, we've come to number 1.
I am number 1. That's a Nelly song.
Yes, it is. Nelly.
Now he's winning.
Okay, yeah, now I'm winning.
Featuring. I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding? Who's it featuring?
I don't know.
Nellie's friend.
Featuring Natalie.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your number one?
Okay, my number one is a game designed by a friend of ours named Jeremy Pete. And it's called The Grand Flea.
Yeah, the Grand Flea.
I think that is such a clever name
I do
because
too.
it's about fleas, but he made it like the Grand Prix, and he spells it Flix, like P is.
That is an awesome
Isn't it
name.
like a Tiddlywinks?
Yes,
kinda
it's
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks
Yeah.
kind of
I think that's
dexterity
like
game.
such a
and
cute,
it is
clever
about a
name.
race. You're
Yeah,
racing
you're
these fleas.
So
Yeah,
the Grand
we played it
Flea
at-
is like
played it.
the perfect name.
I liked it. I thought it was really fun.
Oh, Jeremy.
So good job,
He gave
Jeremy.
me a copy. We have a copy of that. We should play that sometime.
Yeah, we do have a
Awesome. Jeremy, the Grand Flea. You're not going to listen to this, but if you do, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, we've come to number one.
I have a blank of blank game
Awesome.
as my number
Telling
one.
you, the blank of
Really?
blank.
The blank of blanks. Just blank my blank. Really, if you think about it.
That's gross.
my-
That is
Yeah.
so raunchy.
Yeah, just blank your blanks all over the place. It's literally all over your plate. You just blank them.
Jail
blank
over
'em here,
bees.
you blank them there.
Oh
jail over
my
bees.
God! You hear what he's saying?
Yep, man.
to
So
He's the
bleep this.
dirtiest one on
is-
this podcast.
to go along with Ryan's from earlier, I think this is a better name. This is Jaws of the Lion.
Jaws.
That
of
is
the
a really
Lion.
So
good
that's
name.
which has the
Yeah.
Gloomhaven name,
Gloomhaven.
but Jaws of the Lion is that's
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How
It's such
sweet
a
is
cool
that?
That's awesome.
sounding
That is a
name.
badass name. Yeah, good one. Good call.
Just blanks my blank.
Yep. Oh, jeez. He keeps doing it. Number one for me is a game that just has one word in it. It's one word. Yet this, when I hear that word, I shudder in excitement and fear.
Oh, I know. Can I guess? No.
Yeah, you can guess. Ding it though. Yes.
Is it Strike?
Nope.
Damn.
Oh.
No. It is claustrophobia.
Oh, yeah.
Part of
Good
the
answer.
reason I love this game is the name of it, and it really captures the feeling of the gameplay. You're down in these catacombs, and these demons are like cornering you, and you feel very claustrophobic because you're just trying to get out. You're trying to kill them and get out. And man, is it evocative. So that's my number one.
Good one.
Claustrophobia. Do we have any honorable mentions?
Yes.
I had a couple. I had
yeah.
I'll go.
Okay.
I had
He's like,
I
you've
had
won, so I'm gonna
The
go.
Grizzled,
Yeah.
which I really like
yeah,
the
that
name
is
of
a good
that.
one.
That's cool name.
I thought of If Wishes Were Fishes.
That's a
I
It's
hate
a
that
creative
one.
name. You hate that?
That
name?
would have been on
I
my
love that.
worst
I think
one.
it's
Wow,
cool.
really? How come?
I don't know. I just hate it.
She doesn't like the game.
I
either.
always get it mixed, like them mixed up. I'm like,
If
is
fishes
it
were wishes?
Yeah, and it's just like
Another
ugh.
Fishes.
That pisses you off.
too
Huh?
I like the name Wavelength because that's like
Yeah.
creative. You have to be on the same wavelength
Yeah,
as your
that is
team. I
creative.
like that. And I also wrote down the name Can't Stop for a game.
I almost put that on.
because Can't Stop
Do I have
is
that? No, I
it's
didn't. I
like
almost
just
put it
while
on.
you're playing
Yeah.
the game, you're like, well, I can't stop.
Yeah,
you know,
it
you just
describes the
say it.
feeling
and then
of the
as you're
game.
playing, you're like, oh, I get
I
it.
can't stop. I got to keep going on these tracks. Let me keep rolling.
Yep, that is cool.
Yeah. So those are my.
Natalie, you want to go next?
Sure. I had Trismegistus just because it's really fun to say.
It is fun to say. I'm into that. I like
That's
that one.
funny. Okay.
Sagrada, Stuffed Fables,
Yeah.
and
Fables is a good one.
Flick 'em Up because it's like stick 'em up, but you're flicking.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Flick
good
'em
one.
up.
Yep.
You better
got
flick
any?
them up. Yeah, I have some. One, actually, I kind of expected it to be on Jeff's list. He mentioned it last episode as a name he
know
loved.
you're
And I was
talking
like,
about.
he's
I
right.
thought
This
he
is
was
an
gonna do it
awesome name,
too.
and it's Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
I know you're not a big fan of the game
Yeah.
in general, but
I remember him
the
saying,
name.
like,
this is a
you're
great
right. You were
name.
totally right about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's an awesome name for a couple different. It's
is.
so you think the Beatles, right? You think trains,
Yeah.
and it's just cool. And it actually
Yeah.
works with tickets
Right.
because that's
Instead
what
of
you're
naming
doing
a
in the game.
Trains.
Trains.
You're like, it's a game about trains, but you're making it a more appealing name.
Yeah.
Right. So I also had Letters from Whitechapel, which I decided against putting him in the number 2 spot. Ghost Stories, I think, is a
one.
really cool name.
Yep.
And the last one for me is War of the Ring, which I also think is
Yeah,
a
that's
badass
cool.
title to a Lord of the Rings game.
Blank of blank.
So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both those accounts service the podcast. We have a Facebook group. You can just search Gamecasters. You'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We have that BGG Guild. Natalie refuses us to join. 3678 is how you find that one. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen. That allows you to rate us no less than the highest rating, please. All music for this and every episode was produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, please email us to discuss. So for Natalie, Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everyone.
Hey.
This is the Instagram.
Welcome to the box.
Harry.
Harry Potter.
It's the Instagram
box of Insta. Hey, you go to gram.
My balls are Harry Potter.
So Harry.
Whenever you're ready.
Boy.